Okay, testing audio. Is this mic on? Hello, hi Skegga. Hi Kuchunga. Hi Harvey. I'm making sure I'm live on all platforms. Hello. I'm glad you can see me. Thank you for confirming. Yes, light and blessings to all. I love my chat. I love my community. You guys are so positive. So let me pull up my notes and get started. Okay, just first a formal greeting. Hello, I'm Shine, and this is Divine Shine Tarot. We have so many celebrity topics to cover, or celebrity readings to cover tonight. I will actually be picking up from the previous stream, so if you want a full list, a formal intro, all the tips and tricks of how I usually structure my streams, you can go to the last CelebriTEA stream I did, which was Diddy Doc Special. This, sorry, let me just find my notes, catch up with where I'll be starting from tonight. So tonight I will be picking up from where I left off, a long list of celebrity readings that I did not get to do on the last stream. But some names include a request for a reading on Jude Bellingham. He is a soccer player. English actor Aaron Taylor-Johnson. American actor Taylor Zakar Perez. We have to look into Miley Cyrus's recent engagement. Cardi B is still with the baby daddy Stefan Diggs. He's a football player. We'll see how that's going since she's still divorcing from her soon-to-be ex Offset. I have a request for a reading on Cher. It's rumored that she may be engaged to her longtime boyfriend. So let's see how that's going. Ariana Grande, Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni, Tyra Banks, Kylie Jenner, Timothée, Chalamet, Lady Gaga and her fiance Katy Perry, Lori Harvey, Damson Idris, Candace Owens, Melania, POTUS Trump, and I think, if I'm saying this correctly, Mayor Mamdani, the new mayor of New York. A lot of that I will not be able to get to tonight, but whatever I don't get to, I will save for the next stream. So let's just dive on in. And of course, for those of you just joining me for the first time, if you like anything that you see here, please consider booking a reading, sending a donation with a request if there is any particular deep dive reading you'd like to see from me, because on these streams I usually try to keep it pretty brief since we do cover so many topics, but would love the support to keep this channel alive since this is purely a passion project. My channel is not monetized yet, so any support, even if it's just a like or a subscribe, I really appreciate it. So let's get started with the first reading of the night on English actor Aaron Taylor-Johnson. And I prepared some visuals for this, so let me actually cue that up. For those of you unfamiliar with this actor, you can take out your passports because we actually have a few international reading requests tonight. Let me say that again. I'm tripping on my words. Take out your passports, friends, because we have quite a few international reading requests tonight. We're bringing some new faces to the channel, even if, like me, you have never heard of them. As I shuffle, I'll share some background to connect to the energy and bring you up to speed on what makes their situation interesting and worth reading on. So first, let's cue up the visuals for Aaron and Sam TJ. So this is a request from Skegga. Hi, Skegga! Finally doing this reading. And this was quite an interesting request. I have never heard of them before, but the background is kind of juicy, kind of messy. So this is Aaron Taylor-Johnson. Skegga asked, what could we expect to see in his future career as an actor? He's rumored to be the next James Bond if his filmmaker wife becomes the director. Also, what can the cards share about his controversial marriage to director Sam Taylor-Johnson? Sam is a 58-year-old Pisces. Aaron Taylor-Johnson is, for whatever reason, I'm not seeing that in my notes. I think he's currently 35. I probably shifted it to the bottom of the notes, but we will get there. Oh, Aaron is a Gemini, currently 35 years old. That's correct. So, Sam and Aaron have a 23-year age gap. They are both British. They met in 2008 on the set of Sam's debut film called Nowhere Boy, which Sam directed and Aaron starred in. Side note, Sam also directed the 50 Shades of Grey movie. Now, at the time that they began their relationship, Aaron was about 19, but Skegga is giving us some insider tea, perhaps, that allegedly she met him when he auditioned at her house when he was 17. And that they started dating at 18. So somewhere around there, give or take a year, 18, 19, it seems like that's when they developed their relationship or the start of their relationship. Either way, it's still a 23-year age gap. That is significant and concerning. Anyhow, let me continue here with my notes. So Sam also directed the 50 Shades of Grey movie, just to give you guys some familiarity of how or where these people are in Hollywood and the filmmaking world. Now, at the time that they began their relationship, according to the internet, Aaron was about 19, Sam was 42. Sam was also a family friend, presumably with Aaron's parents prior to her doing that movie. I would say Aaron is a handsome lad and Sam has British looks, which can sometimes be a little aesthetically challenged, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and apparently Aaron beheld, because they went on to have 2 kids and get married within the same year from initiating their romance on the set. Sam already had 2 daughters from a previous marriage to Jay Jopling. Then a year and a half after divorcing Jay, Sam had a daughter with Aaron, and they married a year later in 2012 when Aaron was 22, and this is just months after their second daughter was born. Now, to the public's knowledge, they remain married currently at the time of making this reading. They have tried to keep private knowing how much scrutiny and disapproval their union can garner, and they've tried to downplay their age gap and power dynamic in the press, claiming that they don't even notice, with Aaron regularly claiming he's an old soul. I saw a video clip of a red carpet appearance that Aaron and Sam made exactly a year ago in December 2024 with their stepdaughters for Aaron's movie Craven. And they were holding hands, showing all of their teeth, giving the impression that they are trying to reinforce this idea of being a big, happy family image. But Skegga says since 2020, Aaron's entire demeanor has changed. He seems to be becoming more of a man, stepping into his own, being seen out and about more often on his own without his wife Sam, which differs from their first 10 years of marriage when they seemed to be attached at the hip. Also worth noting, months after Sam finalized her divorce in late 2008, her ex-husband, Jay Jopling, quickly found himself in a relationship with a questionable 22-year age gap when dating British singer-actress Lily Allen back in 2009 while she was 23 and he was 45. So some speculate that maybe this sparked a bit of competition. Perhaps Sam sought to outdo her ex with her 23-year age gap. Both pictures kind of give the same kind of energy, if you know what I mean. Anyhow, Skegga wants to know if the daughters are aware of their parents' odd marriage now that they're old enough to notice the age gap, and how that differs from other families. As mentioned before, the stepdaughters from Sam's previous marriage to Jay Jopling were 14 and 6 years old at the time that 22-year-old Aaron married 45-year-old Sam, while also having 2 babies of his own under 2. Now, Sam is 58 years old, Aaron is 35 years old, and the stepdaughters are now 28 and 19, while their youngest daughters are now 15 and 13. So we'll ask about how the older daughters, Angelica, who's now 28, and Jessie, who's now 19, how do they feel since they actually witnessed the transition from their father to Aaron? And Aaron's kids are still too young to truly process and understand what's odd about their parents' age gap when compared to westernized norms. So let's actually start with the marriage, and then we'll do the kids reading later. Or they're not kids anymore, the daughters. I'm going to start with, should I start with this? Yeah, I'll start with this tarot deck. And then I might pull from this one just to see if the message changes, if there's additional information. See if it gives me a bit more about the characters involved since it's a different kind of deck. So let me end these visuals. Put away my handy dandy. Make sure I am decent. And let me start tapping in to this spirit, this energy, spirit. Ooh, the deck is active. Spirit, what can you tell me about Aaron and Sam Taylor's marriage? What can you tell me about their age gap and the power dynamic? What's the truth about what led them to marry? What was each of their energy or intentions when they pursued each other romantically? Let's get some cards out about the past origin energy and motives at the start of this relationship. Let me see, did this fall out? Queen of Pentacles. So this indicates someone who is motherly, nurturing, someone who's a provider, someone who has good work-life balance. I would take this to maybe represent Sam, that she was probably viewed by Aaron as someone who could provide both financially as well as stability and that sense of nurturing. Maybe he had a desire for a motherly figure in his life. Maybe he had mommy issues or some mother wound. Yes, exactly, Skega. Maybe he had mother issues that drew him to be attracted to a figure that could fill that void or represent that energy. And particularly someone that could provide both foundational stability in terms of the structure of a home energetically, but as well as materialistic stability, providing financially. Then we have 10 of Swords. I didn't feel like my deck was fully shuffled, but I'm going to go with it until it feels like maybe I should shuffle more. 10 of Swords is a painful ending. This means something that one has worked on, maybe belabored, and it has not reaped the rewards or gone to the level that one expected or desired. It's kind of putting water into a basket. So there was something that needed to come to an end or something that came to an end that maybe, oh, what I just got was the divorce. So maybe Sam was in such pain coming out of her divorce that she was ready, willing, and maybe even eager to step into a new love, a new romance, a new affair in order to kind of bury this pain, perhaps. I also want to say this could also literally mean like someone getting backstabbed, possibly even like physical violence, like someone may have passed away. So let's keep all of those meanings in mind as we continue here with the cards. Look at that. We're seeing more money. This is someone that can be very charitable. Someone that is in a position of abundance with this 6 of Pentacles is able to give to those that are in need. So we're picking up on the same energy that I was seeing here on the Queen of Pentacles, that Aaron perhaps saw that this would be a very lucrative union for him if he were to get with this this director that apparently had connections or prestige. It would be a very wise career move and financial move for him, and that financial stability was desirable to him. Or maybe out of the gate, this was something that Sam may have used to entice him, that if you're with me, since I'm in so much pain and I really want to move on to something else, there's something here for you. I can incentivize you with a bag of gold. So let's see. Oh yeah, manipulation with this Magician card. So there was a manipulative energy involved. Just to fast forward to some of the rumors and speculation that many have had around this relationship, because of such an extreme age gap. 23 years is significant. That's more than 2 generations. Some people suspect that that could even be considered grooming. If you're dating someone that's barely out of adolescence and you are entering middle age, that is certainly a power dynamic that would allow for someone to be able to be manipulative, use their resources, and their power from being established in that industry to not only appeal to that person's desires and ambitions, but also to control, manipulate, and allegedly groom, perhaps groom. So we have here the Page of Swords. Now, this can indicate someone that is immature with their thoughts, with their speech. This could be someone that's defensive, someone that is incompetent, someone that could even be sharing a message of bad news or having legal issues. But what stands out from this card is just the sense of immaturity, mental immaturity. Perhaps Aaron was, as most would assume, at the age of 19-ish, underdeveloped mentally to not really see the full scope of what it would mean to enter a relationship of that power imbalance, of that dynamic, of that age gap, what a significant advantage or disadvantage it is to be with someone with that much more experience, as well as what you could be sacrificing by entering a relationship that's so committed at such a young age, when perhaps that's a better time for you to enjoy freedom, for you to be adventurous and explore different things with your peers. So we're seeing this idea of someone indeed taking advantage of someone who's mentally immature and inexperienced, someone who is manipulative or using their advantage to be manipulative, even if they were not manipulative by nature. There is someone taking advantage of the imbalance. So this indicates delays, misunderstandings, some sort of blockage. This is the 8 of Wands in reverse. And this indicates that perhaps there was additional reason to be incentivized by Aaron pairing with someone that is senior in his industry. He probably saw that, as I had in my notes, this could be a way to take the elevator instead of the stairs. Without this pairing, I would probably have a longer, harder road to get to the top of my career. While I'm paired with her, she's actually putting me as the star in her movie, and whatever other connections she has were probably opening doors for him. So this must have been a part of his consideration, Aaron's consideration in entering this relationship, that without this pairing, it would probably be a bit of a bumpy road. There would be more delays to me reaching my ambitions, reaching the level that I would like to be in my career. Oh, let me see what Skegga's saying. Sam can't use pain as an excuse to try and mold a young actor because he was very easy for her to control. He stayed with her because he knows nothing else. I don't think it's because of love. Yeah, we haven't seen any love in any of these cards. There's been no cards from the suit of cups, which would be emotion. So far it does seem to indeed be everything that everyone speculated. Someone taking advantage of power imbalance, power, age, the dynamic of such a huge age gap, and financial incentives contributing to the power imbalance. Hello, F. Toby. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the channel. I'm in the middle of a reading for, I'm sorry, I just went blank. I'm doing a reading for an English actor named Aaron Taylor Johnson and his wife, Sam Taylor Johnson, because they have a very extreme age gap between them. And although they've been together for quite a few years, one of my beautiful, awesome, cool viewers, Skegga, was inquiring on what's the truth, what's the energy behind their union. So I'm just going to continue here. Ooh, look at this. We have the 8 of Cups. We were just talking about how this is the first. Well, this is the first cup from the. This is the first card from the suit of cups that I am seeing, because I was just saying that I did not see anything pointing to emotions prior. Now, when we see the 8 of Cups upwards, this indicates that someone is not emotionally satisfied with something in their life. They're over it. Something that once satisfied them, they're now venturing off to find something better, something bigger, something more fulfilling. While we see it in reverse, this indicates that while someone may not be emotionally fulfilled, they're having a hard time leaving. They may have second thoughts. They may feel guilt. They may have a loop emotionally where they go through an unhealthy cycle if they're dealing with someone that's emotionally imbalanced or manipulative. So maybe Aaron wanted to leave, but he's having a hard time doing so because it's probably connected to his opportunities, his financial and home foundations. Let's see what else we get here. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, staying with Sam for, in the perspective of Aaron, staying with Sam allows him to enjoy luxuries, to enjoy independence, for him to enjoy someone providing and assisting financially, but he gets to also feel like he himself is self-sufficient. So this, as we take a closer look, where this in the back looks like plaques, looks like awards, looks like recognition, something that someone that is in an entertainment industry would aspire to reach to as a symbol of their success, of their status, of being recognized for their skill set. And then this fancy lady has a fur stole. There's fancy artwork and sculpture. So this lifestyle of luxury and this stability, financial stability, abundance, access to these kinds of opportunities, this prestige, it seems to be one of the main attractions for Aaron. So what we've gotten in this reading thus far is pretty much what everyone assumed. No surprise there. But let me pull a few more cards from another deck just to really see if there's more color to the picture. Yeah, look at this. Long term. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with with the cards tonight. Okay. So we got here 10 of Pentacles when I look at the bottom of the deck, which indicates legacy, long-term wealth of a family. This could be inheritance. This could be something to do with an estate, or in general, long-term wealth of someone developing their brand, preparing their retirement, their investments. This is big money and everything that someone accumulates over a lifetime, indicating that this is of importance to someone in this relationship. I would assume Aaron, that he's thinking long term. How can this relationship pay off for me long term? And we're also seeing this 9 of Swords, which indicates that after a time of significant anxiety, fear, worry, when you look at the 9 of Swords upright, this person is experiencing insomnia, sleepless nights on their bed because they're so affected by whatever is stressing them and giving them anxiety. In reverse, you're now feeling the calmness and the relief of getting on the other side of that, indicating that you feel that your situation has changed to where you are now experiencing the relief of not having to worry. So perhaps Aaron had been worried about his long-term prospects in his field, in his career, and in terms of financials in general. How will I ever achieve the level of financial success and comfort that I would like to achieve? And then here comes Sam. So it seemed like that was a solution from him. That was a solution for him based on these last 2 cards that I see at the bottom of the deck. Now I will go ahead and pull from another deck just for fun. I haven't used this deck enough, so I'd like to kind of find a reason. Use this as an excuse to use it and see if we get any additional messaging in terms of what was the energy between Aaron and Sam when they first got together, in order to see what was the motivation. And then we'll compare it to what could oh, yeah, these cards are stiff because I haven't shuffled them in a while. We'll compare it to what is the energy now. So this was a reading about the energy in the past. We're about to do a reading on the energy currently after I pull a few cards from this deck. Okay. Oh, you're excited. I'm so glad to be doing this for the channel, for you. Doing this reading. Yeah, I can also pull a few cards for his career to see what's next for him. But it seems like, in general, just from these cards that we've gotten so far, the energy seems to be that as long as he's with her, he's good. Like, he'll continue to secure whatever career opportunities he wants. But the most concerning card here was this Eight of Cups that indicated he maybe does want to step away at some point, but he's so committed to maintaining this lifestyle. So he's just weighing his options if he could still continue enjoying his lifestyle without her. And once he sees an opportunity to do so, maybe he'll step out. We'll pull a few more cards about his career, or we'll see if maybe even these cards can tell us a little something. Spirit, what can you... Oh, should I take these? Wow. Well, I was just about to ask the same question that I asked here, and these cards popped out. I always speak when I shuffle because that's me energizing the deck as I meditate on what I'm going to read on. So I'll accept these cards. We got this thoughts card in terms of letting us know that something is on someone's mind. Let's see. So bad thoughts is, since it's in reverse, I'm going to consider this to mean bad thoughts. And we got manipulation. And when you put it in reverse, we could say that someone is trying to step away from a situation that they find to be manipulative. Instead of actually implementing manipulation, they're trying to remove themselves from manipulation. Let's see. I feel like with this deck, it's actually better to pull several at a time. Look at that. Let me clean up these cards. I thought that I would just pull a few, but I'm actually going to pull a lot more than I anticipated from this deck. So let me make room here. Okay. So what we're getting here with these cards, let me see if I can pull them one by one. We have high honor, mature woman, child, and occupation. So I would take this to mean that someone thought that it was flattering, Aaron thought that it was flattering to attract the fancy or to be desirable to a mature woman at that age, or vice versa, for a young woman to get the attention of an older man. Because they're so young, sometimes they feel like, ooh, that means I'm more mature. I'm like more desirable by people that should have better options since they are older. They know what quality is. And if they're thinking I'm quality, then, ooh, that makes me even, more flattered, I should say. So that's what I'm getting with the high honor, mature woman. But when I see this child card, this indicates that, as we have been saying, this is the energy and the mentality of someone that is so young that they don't know better. And they're just thinking about their job, since we see this occupation card. Let me make some more room. Look at this, rich girl. This girl's got coins. So why not? If I'm thinking about my job and we have this mature woman that wants to date me and is flattering me, it's gassing me up, it's going to elevate me to this level. When I see high honor, I think of awards, I think of recognition, I think of prestige. So this rich girl, this mature woman, can elevate me to where I want to be in my occupation, as well as receiving the accolades, the rewards that I would like, both in my career and in my life. Ooh, he may have abandonment issues. Aaron may have had, as I said in the beginning, a childhood wound, a mother wound that contributes to his desire for a motherly figure. A more mature woman seems attractive to him because he's probably trying to fill a void or right a wrong from something that he experienced in his childhood. Yeah, look at that. Boss, but it was in reverse. So she was his boss, but that's a bad thing because, as we have been discussing and we all assume, that means that she's going to be able to be more controlling, that she's the one that's holding the purse strings for his future, for his career. So that allows her to maneuver and manipulate. That is a theme that we've seen already a few times in both decks that I pulled from. So I'll just take out. Ooh, what? Okay, we're seeing mature man and bondage. So maybe Aaron feels stuck now that he's more mature to know better. Now that he's been with her for, what is it, like 10 something years, over a decade he's been with her. Now that he's older and wiser, he feels like he's stuck in this situation. Whoa, interesting. So I will leave that there and shift into what is their current energy, because it seems like this reading started to take us in that direction of, this is where it was when he was in the mentality of someone young, adolescent, not fully developed as yet. And this is where he is now that he is more grown, more mature, and knows better. Abandonment could also indicate someone wanting to leave. We saw that in the previous reading with the Eight of Cups. So let's pick these cards up and move into an energy check on their relationship as it stands right now, because there's whispers that there may be a separation brewing, since some people feel that Aaron is now moving different energetically. Yeah. Yes, F. Toby, things might be getting ready to change based on the cards we've seen, based on the energy. And even that's why I shared visuals, because even just looking at the pictures, it does look like there is a difference between the doting young version of Aaron in those pictures where he's holding her belly, looking like her happy son, looking like, you know, he's just so pleased and content to be with mommy, versus now it seems like, as Sketka said, it seems like he's stepping into his own now. So let's see if we can get a clear reading on the current energy between Sam and Aaron Taylor Johnson. 58, I know, 58 and 35. 58 and 35, and she got pregnant by him like a year and change after being divorced. She had 2 kids already from her previous divorce. And so Sam was the father of 2 stepdaughters plus 2 new daughters that he had. Sorry, Aaron was the father of 4 daughters before he's even 22. Like, wowzers. That's super crazy. Okay. Let's see. Spirit, what can you tell me about the current energy between Aaron and Sam Taylor Johnson? Please give me some clear messages about the current energy between Aaron and Sam Taylor Johnson. Did that come out? No. Let's get some clear messages on the current energy of the marriage between Aaron and Sam Taylor Johnson. Okay. Ooh. You got what you wanted, but now you're not happy with it, with this 9 of Cups reversed. So when we have the 9 of Cups upright, it means that your wish has been fulfilled. Something that you really wanted, it came true. You're so happy with it. You're so pleased. You're so content. In reverse, you got what you wanted, and it's not all it is cracked up to be, or you're over it, or you could also want more. It hasn't been as fulfilling as you anticipated. So this either way indicates some sort of discontentment emotionally. Presumably for Aaron, but it could also be Sam. Maybe she's over the dynamic. Maybe she feels like she's gotten all that she wanted or needed from the relationship, and we'll see. Ooh, okay. I was going to say we'll see what the following card indicates, but since it's the Lover's card, this is pointing to both people in the relationship perhaps feeling this way. The Lover's card can speak of lifelong choices, lifelong connections, people that may think they were soulmates. This could also indicate themes in someone's life related to love, some cycle that someone may be repeating from a past life, or some lesson that someone has to learn around their love connections. Then we have the Temperance card, moderation, balance, or imbalance. Currently, it seems like this card is indicating the way they are currently paired. They may feel that it's well balanced, and that may be contributing to them just keeping the marriage as is, since they both are gaining on both sides. You get what you want, I get what I want, but perhaps it's not sustainable. Perhaps it's not sustainable long term. Yeah, someone's looking to make a tough decision with this Two of Swords. Kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place and thinking with their intuition. You're trying to think with your mind when we're dealing with the Suit of Swords. But when you see the blindfold in the tarot, that indicates that it's time for you to listen to your intuition to make decisions that the mind and the heart cannot make. It's time for you to listen to your gut. So there may be contemplation at this time of either Aaron or Sam trying to think about how do I step out of something that seems comfortable, that so far it seems like we have a mutual agreement, a mutual reciprocity. You get, I get, a symbiotic relationship, sort of, that we saw communicated from this Temperance card. But there is consideration about someone making a change, making a tough decision with that Two of Swords. And we're seeing again another card that somewhat can represent a motherly figure, an emotionally motherly figure with this Queen of Cups. This is someone who is caring, compassionate, very nurturing. This is someone that's calm, helping, healing. The healing, the definition healing is standing out to me on this Queen of Cups. So there must be some sort of emotional support that one or both of these spouses gain from being in this relationship. That's actually a positive, but let's not ignore the thought of this being someone that is very motherly and nurturing, and that can be taken too far and turn into smothering and suffocating someone. This could also be taken too far in the sense of someone being too codependent, too needy, too dependent on someone, in this case, a spouse. Whoa, so we saw this card in the previous round and now we're seeing it in reverse. So now there may be concerns about someone's long-term finances. Will I be a part of the will? Will I get any part of the estate? If there's any trouble financially, that could represent bankruptcy, some financial failures. Something is going wrong with the money financially, or maybe someone feels insecure financially in the relationship. I know that I saw the movie premiere video that I spoke of in the intro from last year in December when Aaron was in a movie. I don't know what kind of movie it was, but haven't heard of anything that he's been in since. Not that I follow them, but when I was researching, that was the most recent that it gave me. And I also didn't see any recent work from Sam. So perhaps they're not getting the work that they thought they would get. Maybe that could be an element contributing to any long-term financial concerns. Oh, 4 new films coming out. Thanks, Gaga. Okay, yeah, because films take a long time to make. So it could just be that they're stacking up their projects and then they'll release a whole bunch of stuff. But there's some concern of long-term finances here just based off of this 10 of Pentacles in reverse. The Hanged Man. This indicates someone that is making sacrifices and surrendering to external forces. So if there was someone contemplating stepping out of this relationship, that person's also feeling like, well, let me just go with the flow, just continue to be in the situation that while it works, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And let me not pose any resistance because I don't have a strong enough reason to step out of it yet. And if I revisit this Lover's card, maybe there is love there. If you started off in this relationship looking to gain material wealth, accessibility to opportunities, but you've maintained the relationship for this long of a time, maybe they have developed some love for each other, because we do have a few more positive cards than I expected to see. So let's see what the next card indicates. Wait a minute. Never mind. The 7 of Swords in reverse. So this indicates someone that may have deceived the other and it will be revealed, or it may have already been revealed. If I could be a little presumptuous, I would say that maybe someone has cheated or is cheating. Maybe that's a part of their relationship agreement. Maybe there's an open relationship. Usually when we see the 7 of Swords, You see someone sneakily trying to get away with something. So this usually indicates a deception, a lie, a betrayal, a sabotage that someone does not know about yet. It probably is about to happen, or it's been happening and it's been done in the dark behind someone's back. But when it's in reverse, this indicates revelation. This indicates something that is either about to come to light or someone already knows about it. So in this reading about a relationship, I would think that maybe part of their agreement, since they have such a huge age gap, maybe Sam allows Aaron to do whatever he wants behind the scenes. And that's a part of the balance and the comforts that they allow each other in the relationship for them to stay together. Interesting. I'm just surprised to see this card, because if the finances was a big important part of Aaron's decision to stay in this relationship, to have that stability, then this must be a concern. This must be reason for wanting to consider a separation or making a change, choosing something different. But it looks like so far they are comfortable, not ready to rock the boat, not ready to change the dynamics. Let me see what's happening in the chat. Hold on. Let me actually see. Oh, yeah. Someone's resisting the ending of something. And we're also seeing the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting. So this, along with the 10 of Pentacles, let me just show it here in this camera. Six of Pentacles reversed, along with the 10 of Pentacles. Both of these, when we did a reading on the energy from the beginning of the relationship, these were both upright, indicating financially this was a lucrative, generous pairing where one felt they could benefit from the other. The most abundant person would have been Sam, was able to provide lifestyle and financial stability for Aaron, as well as long-term financial stability. But now that we're seeing them in reverse, both of these are in reverse now that we're doing this reading on their current energy. I am again drawn to this idea that there is some financial concerns. There is something that has changed in the finances, or we can even just more generally say that one is not getting as much as they got in the past. They're not benefiting as much, be it financial, be it via opportunities, be it energetically. There has been a change in the way that one benefits from the other, or one sees their future benefits in this relationship. So that is probably part of why there's a contemplation of, should I maybe consider taking another path? Should I consider making a change, even though she really cares about me and provides that sense of foundation and nurturing and motherliness that I have wanted since childhood? So this one last card that I also saw on the bottom of the deck, this Death card in reverse, indicating someone that's resisting a change, resisting a transformation. It may be necessary to actually make this tough decision in order to step into a different or better life cycle, life stage. But so far, these cards do not indicate that they are immediately looking to separate. It looks like there's still so many comforts here, and the only concern would be some financial change or some change in the dynamic between the giver and the taker. So we could leave that there and maybe pull a few cards to see how do the daughters feel and what's to come for Aaron's career. Let's see if I could catch up with the chat before I even dive deeper. Oh, it's not letting me scroll. Okay. Okay, Aaron in a warped way, not healthy. She certainly doesn't respect him. She likes to be in charge of him. She's bossy. Okay. She likes to be in charge. She likes to be in charge of him and his career. That's what Skegga is saying. And then it says, Aaron's still not the age she was when they met. Still not the age oh yes, true. Wow. Right. Because 23 years have not passed from when they met. So Aaron is still not the age that she was when they met. And they've been together for 15 years. Gee, that's still a long time for most marriages, even when there's not an age gap. So there's definitely something there that's keeping them tethered. or keeping him tethered, but it's not enough for them to really do a full-on separation yet. And especially since we saw that Seven of Swords reversed, which indicated he may be having his cake and eating it too, in terms of maybe having an open relationship quietly for Sam to be able to stay in a relationship with him while he's able to still explore his options. All right, so let's see if we can get some clarity on what the daughters feel. Let's see, that's the reason. Threatens to take his daughters and ruin his career. Oh, really? Yikes. Yeah, threatening to take his daughters, ruining his career. I mean, yeah, I guess the British like to move different, because here in the US, I feel like people would be like, or men especially, they'll be very bold and cocky. Like, I mean, what could a woman really say about me to ruin my career? Well, actually, she could say a lot, but when you have a 23-year age gap, the worst things that she could say about him, he could say about her. So I would think that she would have to tread carefully, because the laws in this country are a little different when it comes to statutory rape and, you know, meeting people at such young ages. You know, Aaron might have a stronger argument if what Sketka is saying was true about meeting in the living room when he's just barely 17. If that's true, again, allegedly, no facts, no truth, just tarot. These readings are just for entertainment, folks. So let's shift into the next reading. I actually just want to remind myself of what are the ages and zodiac signs of the daughters. Okay, I have a note here. It says, finally, let's see, how do the eldest daughters feel? Their mom, Sam, says they are unbothered and they think any critics are mad or mean for questioning their happy family. And we've seen them smile for the red carpet family photo ops now that they're older. But the girls, Angelica, who's 28, she's a Taurus. She's the brunette that was in the pictures. And Jessie, 19, she's the redhead that was in the picture. She's a Capricorn. Oh, wow. Her birthday's actually January 1st. She's a New Year's baby. Nice. So Angelica, 28, and Jessie, 19, Taurus and Capricorn. They have never released their own statements about the relationship. One would imagine now that they have seen or experienced more of the world, they could put into perspective how different the age gap and power dynamic between their current parents is compared to other relationships, or even compared to the relationship between their biological father and mom. So let's see what the cards can tell us. Spirit, how do Sam and Aaron's eldest daughters feel? How do Angelica and Jessie truly feel about their mom and stepdad's union? Spirit, let me get one card for each. So this is a lot. I think I should actually shuffle again, because I'm seeing a lot of repeat cards from the previous. And I want to separate the pulls as I have in my notes, to start off with just one card for each daughter, because I felt different energies for each when I was looking at the video of each of them. The older one had a heavier energy. The older one is Angelica, the brunette. She's 28. Jessie, 19, Capricorn, red head. She felt lighter, still in a more naive energy. But Angelica, something on that energy to me alerted me to really pay attention to what the spirit might have to say in these cards. So let me focus my energy on the deck to clarify. Spirit, how do the eldest daughters feel? Let's start with a card for Angelica. How does Angelica feel about the relationship with her mom, Sam, and her stepfather, Aaron? Let's get a card out for Angelica. Okay, she doesn't want no smoke. This is the Five of Wands upright. It indicates conflicts and competition. In reverse, this indicates that she doesn't want to put up any resistance, but this could indicate that there may have been conflicts and a sense of competition in the past. So currently it seems like she is at ease, perhaps not feeling like she needs to compete for her mom's attention, or not feeling like she needs to put up any resistance to this new stepfather, since now he's actually the established stepfather. It's not as it was when they were younger, and they're still trying to get used to the idea of, wait, a divorce means mommy and daddy are no longer going to be around together at the same time, and what that life change poses for them. So it seems like she's settled into it in a way that is the path of least resistance. And let's actually shuffle it again so I can get a card out for Jessie. Well, no, I want to get a little more for Angelica, the older one, the Taurus, the brunette. Oh, so she's feeling good about the connection, actually. This Wheel of Fortune upright indicates good fortune, good karma, good fate. So she probably feels like it's actually turned out nice. She probably likes the energy or the dynamic between her stepfather and her mother. So it may have started off conflictive, but now she's settled into a routine with both of them that actually works for her. Oh, wait a second. So here we have the Six of Wands in reverse. So this indicates some sort of failures, some fall from grace. Someone may not like the prospects of being so public, because again, when we see the Six of Wands upright, this could also mean public recognition. So she probably doesn't like that it's such a public relationship, but these previous cards indicate behind the scenes she's okay with it, I guess Angelica is. And then we have Knight of Cups. So this is someone who is emotionally immature, usually a masculine energy, usually someone in a position of leadership or authority, like a father figure or a boss. So this could indicate that maybe Angelica views Aaron as someone that is not necessarily emotionally immature, but she probably recognizes that he was too young at the time that her mother got with him. So maybe she holds space for recognizing and acknowledging that. I'm not sure what that means in terms of how she feels about the fact that she realizes that he was young, but maybe she recognizes that, as we've been asking, do they realize that that's a very unusual age gap for people to have in their relationships? Now let me shuffle and get some cards out for the other older daughter, Jessie. Spirit, how does Jessie feel about the relationship between Aaron and Sam Taylor Johnson? Because we saw some nice pictures of them together in like a selfie that he took. And she had a really nice smile next to him on that red carpet video I saw. So let's see if we can get a card out for Jessie, 19, Capricorn, the redhead, the stepdaughter of Aaron Taylor Johnson. How does she feel about him, Spirit? How does Jessie feel about Aaron, Spirit? Okay. Oh. So we have the Knight of Swords. So this is the energy of someone that is ambitious, competitive. This is the second time we're getting something in relation to competition. Ambitious, competitive, someone that's a direct communicator, someone that's active, takes action, or I should say, but this can also mean a change in lifestyle. So maybe she thinks Aaron coming along actually energized our life and it actually changed our lifestyle for the better since it's upright. Let's see if we can get a little more information there. Okay, this is the Four of Wands, indicating a lack, or I should say instability in one's personal life, instability in the home life. Also upright, the Four of Wands can indicate celebrations. So when I see it in reverse, the first thing that came to me before I even started breaking down the card was maybe she didn't want them to get married. Or maybe there is instability in the household. There was instability in the household between Sam and the previous husband, Jay Jopling. So maybe that change of lifestyle that came in once Aaron joined their life was welcomed, a breath of fresh air, even perhaps if there was instability in the home life prior to him, or this could perhaps even mean instability in the home life now. This could mean arguments. This could also mean someone moving away from home. Those who know the tarot deck, the traditional imagery is of a house with these wands. When it's in reverse, one can also think of someone looking to move somewhere else because the dynamic in the house may be too volatile, too fired up. Since we have the suit of wands, that's passion, fire, and energy. So it could be that this is speaking about instability in the home back before Aaron joined, meaning that now it's a relief to have him around and she likes the dynamic, or could be something going on now that she's looking to move away from. She's looking to maybe move out of the house and have her own place and have her own lifestyle and stability. Let's see if we can get more information and clarity. Yeah, Queen of Wands, fired up. This is someone who is courageous, bold, warm, outgoing, focused, and independent. So this idea of wanting to move out and get your independence, change your lifestyle, separate from whatever the family dynamic is, it seems to be that's what Jesse is on based on these cards so far. This is also someone who is very focused on achieving their goals, someone who's very fiery and fired up, and someone who's very socially attractive. So maybe she is gregarious, maybe she has other people that she connects with socially that allow her to see a different version of the world that is contributing to her opinion of what her family dynamic is. If it's odd, if it's not tolerable, if it's insufferable, if it's nice, but she still just wants to get away. It seems like Jesse's energy is focused on herself and stepping into a different chapter in her life, which at the age of 19, the age that Aaron started with her mom, started his relationship with her mom, you know, she's actually thinking along the lines of what a 19-year-old should, or what most 19-year-olds would be thinking of, getting their independence, stepping out into the world and focusing on themselves. Lots of fire. Look at that. Now we have the Knight of Wands. And this is someone coming in fast and furious. This is someone that is adventurous, passionate, energized, maybe even a little impulsive. So it seems like Jessie, again, is focused on herself and maybe just wants to just get out and get up and do stuff. She's not even really thinking about Aaron based on these cards. Oh, Skega said Jessie's nickname is Phoenix. That's a cute name. Yeah, it seems like Jessie's not really thinking about Aaron at all. She kind of just wants to get away, go live her own life, go start her own thing with all of these cards. And Angelica's the one that's a little more reflective, I guess we could say, on what Aaron's age gap with her mom is, you know, what it means. Sorry, let me just get some water. It's kind of hot in my environment at this time. Angelica is a more aware of what that age gap means, what that difference means, that, oh, you met my stepfather at a time when he should have been doing what my sister is thinking of doing now, instead of shacking up and being saddled down with 4 kids, allegedly. Well, no, that's a fact. It's just, that's my opinion, that it's being saddled down instead of enjoying your youth and your freedom. So let's pick up these cards and just do one last pull to see what the cards have to say about Aaron's career. Okay, let me catch up with the chat too. I think the daughters competed with Aaron for their mom's attention. You're onto something there, Skega, because we got cards indicating something about competition for both girls, right? Angelica is the closest to Aaron's age, right? So she's really feeling what it means to be married at such a young age, where she's currently, from what the internet can share, when I did my Googles, she's currently single. She's not even married yet. So she probably can't even fathom being married with 4 kids at 22 when she's 28 right now, still probably, you know, focusing on developing her life. Looks like the older daughter isn't buying her mother's marriage. Yeah, the older daughter definitely knows that he was too young to start this relationship based on that King of Cups in reverse that we saw here. So let me just give this one more good riffle shuffle and ask the spirit about Aaron Taylor Johnson's career, Spirit. What can you tell me about his career? Will he be the next James Bond, or is he just going to be a house husband? What is his career? What's the energy that Aaron has around his career at this time, Spirit? Let's get some cards out for Aaron and his career. Let's get some cards out for Aaron Taylor Johnson. I might have to cut it because I prefer when the cards jump out, but I've been using this deck so much for my readings because I love it. The art really, I think it's perfect. It's so dramatic, so it's perfect when we're speaking about like actors and people in entertainment because they're very dramatic people. But now they're getting like kind of sticky and bent up, so the cards haven't been flying out as much as they used to. Okay, so this is a reading for what's to come for Aaron Taylor Johnson's career. So we have the Three of Swords, which indicates some sort of heartbreak or disappointment, a shocking disappointment. And then we have the Chariot, which indicates there was something that he was very determined to accomplish. This is someone who has everything under control. They have a clear direction. They may even be aggressive about achieving whatever it is that they're determined to achieve. So since this came out after the Three of Hearts, or the Three of Swords, excuse me, this indicates that while he may have been disappointed in not getting a role or not getting some accomplishment that he was pursuing, he's still focused on trying. He's not giving up. So he's still in the energy of ambition and proving someone wrong or trying to go for something else, something better. Let's pull out a few more cards to get some clarity on that. Ooh, 10 of Wands. This is a heavy burden. This indicates that there may be a lot on Aaron's shoulders. Either his ambitions are so great, so grand, that it's a lot for him to accomplish. Maybe there is a lot that he feels that he is doing on his own, and he may decide that he wants to offload some of this responsibility. But usually this indicates that you are on your way to where you want to be. It just requires a lot of work. So it's about making the decision if Aaron wants to continue to wear the crown. As they say, the crown is heavy. Leave it where it is. So he has to decide if he still wants to put in the long hours, the late nights that it takes when you're an actor, the early mornings, the call times are usually starting at 5 a.m. when you're shooting a film, and it's really long days. Or maybe there's some other ambition that we don't know about yet. Maybe he himself is trying to become a director or something. Or this could also be that maybe he's trying to step out of the shadow of having married a director that opened up doors for him, and he wants to just kind of carve out his own lane. Let's see what the cards that come after it. Whoa, the Devil. So there are some unhealthy attachments or bad habits or bad influences or codependency when we think of attachments in this situation, since it's a relationship. As I was just saying, that he might want to try to come out of the shadow from Sam. So maybe he's feeling like, I'm so attached to her in name, in brand, in image. I really want to step away from that, but it's very difficult. It's very challenging. It's very cumbersome. It's very burdensome. And this is probably a connection that he somewhat regrets or resents. Like he wants to do it on his own now, have it on his own. He wants to be respected and recognized in his industry as having earned it, instead of having a, what do you call it? Not nepotism, but just when you're kind of gifted entree to something. So it seems like there is some negativity or toxicity that he's either in or he's trying to shake. He's trying to get out of whatever this Devil card represents for him in his life. So then we have the Fool card reversed, which indicates someone that may be immature and having a hard time starting something fresh, having a hard time or resistance to taking risks and making changes. Let's see what you guys are saying. Sam Taylor plus Aaron Johnson. Is that? Oh, he took her last name. Okay. Oh, so the Johnson is Aaron's last name, original last name. Yeah, I was wondering what the hyphenation was. Okay, this is encouraging. That probably why he's been booking so many projects. Okay, yeah, he's probably trying to get out from under her. I think he made a mistake for marrying his boss for secure access in the film industry. Agreed. I think we can all agree with that. It probably sounded like it was a good idea for him at the beginning, but now that he's grown and more mature and wiser, he's kind of seeing it different. And then he'd been acting since he was 6. Oh, wow. Yeah, he never really got to experience the world from a different perspective. It's just always been so much about the industry, and the industry can be really unusual in terms of the dynamics that you see between people. So he probably didn't realize how bizarre and concerning his age gap was in the beginning, and he went along with downplaying it until now he's realizing, you know, my kids are stepping into the age that I was, and I wouldn't want them to be in that situation. So let's see what's next. 4 of Swords. This is a reading for those of you just joining. We're in the middle of a reading about Aaron Taylor Johnson. He is a English actor. We're just trying to see what's up with his career. And a lot of the cards thus far have said that he is trying to step out from under his wife's shadow, since his wife is Sam Taylor Johnson, a established director. And so this 4 of Swords indicates that there is a need for rest, or he's already at rest, at ease. This is about recovering after a very stressful and draining period, or to prepare for a very stressful and demanding period. So it seems like after taking a risk that maybe didn't work out, trying something different, or having a sense of hesitation and resistance to starting something new, now he's just maybe waiting for a better time to start something else or to approach something else. Maybe he did a lot of projects already, and so now it's just about waiting for the post-production before you pick up on the press runs and all of the promotional activities that actors usually have to do around their projects. Oh, wow. Ace of Swords. So this is about truth, mental clarity, new ideas, breakthroughs. This could also indicate surgery, but the energy that I'm getting from this is about victory, because we saw in the beginning the 3 of Swords, where there must have been a really painful disappointment for Aaron. So maybe there's some role or some reward, some victory that he will gain or get with whatever's coming for him in his career. Maybe some of the projects that he's already worked on will be very well received, and he'll achieve some success and recognition without his wife. So maybe he worked on projects that she was not involved in, and so he's really hoping that it does well, and maybe it will, and so he'll finally achieve what he's been so determined and focused on with his own career. Let's see if we could get some clarity here. Oh, it may not be financially lucrative though, enough for him to really feel like he could financially step out on his own, because the 7 of Pentacles in reverse indicates that Aaron may have invested in a project or in himself, both financially but also with his effort, with his time, and it hasn't sorry. I have the heat on really high right now, so sometimes the air gets really dry. It hasn't rendered the fruit or the harvest that he originally wanted or pursued. It hasn't been as lucrative or just paid off as he hoped and wished, with all of the effort that he put into something, which kind of is reflective of what we saw here with this 3 of Swords in the beginning about some disappointment. So it seems like there is something that he's still putting a lot of effort and finances and time into, that he's trying to accomplish, but it's difficult, it's burdensome, it's cumbersome. He's still focused and determined though, and there still is some sort of win that he can hope to achieve with his ambitions. Let's see if this is gonna, there's something he's gonna have to leave behind with that Six of Swords. The Queen is going to be cold, bitter. Maybe she's gonna be mad if he does manage to step away on his own. Something about his past is holding him back, or something about his past that he doesn't want to return to. And we're seeing this Knight of Cups indicating that there may be someone that's manipulative, someone that's disappointing. We're seeing the theme of disappointment again with this Knight of Cups. Someone that may be jealous. So with that, something negative about the past. And then this other card that I saw about Six of Swords, having to move on from something regretfully. And this Queen of Swords card, meaning that Sam, or a feminine energy, would likely be very cold-hearted, cruel, and bitter about moving on, seeing Aaron move on. And the manipulation and the jealousy indicates that that may contribute to some of the difficulty that Aaron is having in trying to break out on his own, if that is a goal of his. So, or also, by the way, this just came to me as well. She may not be helping him, because we see a feminine figure here. She may not be helping him financially, which is what's making it difficult for whatever. Maybe he's trying to fund his own movie, and that has been difficult for him. So we will leave it there, and we'll see what's to come for him in the year in 2026, or whenever his projects will be released. What do you all think? Let me catch up with the chat here. He had booked many movies before meeting her. Oh, really? So this wasn't his first time acting. I bet Aaron wants a much younger woman that he can fully experience more with. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that I have that in my notes. Actually, let me read what I said. Wait, Skega said he could marry a 30-something-year-old and still begin a new family if he wanted to. He's only 35. I have a bad feeling he will always go older. Yeah, the cards indicated that there was some sort of mother wound there, that he was trying to fill a void and recreate something that didn't go right in his childhood by having this dynamic in his romantic life. It wouldn't make sense for Aaron to repeat the same cycle, is what F. Toby said. No, not as old, I don't think. So let me see what my notes said as I'm closing out and shifting into another reading. I was saying, yeah, when you take gender and ageism out of it, 23 years is a really crazy age gap. That's substantial. That's 2.3 decades. For those of you that have ever dated anyone, you could perhaps relate to what I'm saying. 5-ish years, you don't really notice much difference. 8 years, you start noticing some things. 10 years, that's a whole generation. You notice, but depending on what age you meet, like let's say the youngest is already in their late 20s, early 30s, the 10-year difference may still be reasonable if the youngest is already a mature age. But now 23 years age difference, that's over 2 generations. Linking with someone in their mid-40s when you're still coming out of adolescence, and usually men take longer to mature than women. But he was in the entertainment industry since childhood, so some may say that balances out, but still an industry 18 with an industry 45, or actually he was 22 at the time they married and she was 45. So 22, marrying someone who's 45, becoming a stepfather to a 14 and 6-year-old, plus fathering your own 2-year-old and a fresh out the womb newborn. You're 8 years older than your oldest stepdaughter, 23 years younger than the person you just married at 22. Whoa. Talk about living fast. The years were not flying as fast back then as they do now. A year was a significant amount of time back then. I can't even imagine dating someone 20 years younger at my age. That would be literally robbing the cradle, courting someone in a diaper. But even in one's 40s, that's like, what kind of dates could a 19-year-old even afford? You know, I mean, well, if you're the boss, I guess you could administer the pay to empower or oppress your teenage prey. I mean, suitor. You can pay them to be able to afford whatever dating options you want them to be able to provide. Or I guess the 40-year-old would have to be the provider. So maybe that's an incentive to the teen. But are you not seeing the teenage peers and wishing you could date some young, pretty girls that might have a bit more in common with you? You know, like, was Aaron very sheltered or isolated growing up or something? Maybe perhaps he was, since he was in entertainment. but it just seems like he may have been so career focused that locking in with his director felt like a smart career move. As I was saying previously, it seems like he saw it as an option to take the elevator instead of the stairs. Where were you at 22? What were you doing at 22? Put it in the comments, because I know we have an international audience, so maybe stepping into a starter family at that age is the norm for some of you, but most people in the States at that age are sorting out their grad school, or starting careers, or planning travels at that age. I mean, the legal drinking age in the US is 21. So at 22, most people are just starting to legally enjoy adult nightlife and bars, thinking about how will they handle their student loans and will they be able to afford their own place. At 21, you can finally rent a car on your own. Being married with 4 kids at 22 in the US is highly unusual and questionable. And we saw after the Me Too movement of the 2000s, several people in entertainment that tried to normalize such age gaps and power imbalances were actually called out and held accountable or ostracized. So while it's not unheard of, it definitely is not the norm and is more often seen as concerning amongst the general public. Some might even call it the G word, grooming. Anyway, kind of messy, kind of sus. Don't let these English accents fool you into thinking everyone over there is all prim and proper. They get real messy over there in the UK. Okay, well, since we're staying in the region, let's move along to do a reading on another Englishman. Beatriz Pinheiro requested a reading on Jude Bellingham, this super star athlete. He is a soccer player. Actually, let me pause and just catch up with the chat. His wife was definitely manipulative and too controlling. Yep. He promised Sam, said 1 year after they met, and they'd never even kiss. I don't believe that. So Sam said, blah, 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 is living a fantasy. The more you read their interviews, the more disturbing this marriage gets. Yeah, I did not do too much direct research on them because I wanted to see what the cards would say without any interference. But just from the body language that I saw in that, actually, let me take off this visual while I'm still speaking about them. Yeah, let me just keep it on them. Yeah, the body language that I saw. Oh, wait a minute. The body language that I saw between them, it felt forced. It felt like keeping up appearances, and this was the red carpet from last December. So I agree with you that it just, let me see what you're saying. Sam is living a fantasy. The more you read their interviews, the more disturbing the marriage gets. I'm getting the feeling Aaron will cheat again. Ooh, yikes. I have to go to bed. Good night, Skagga. Thank you for joining me. My pleasure. All right, you guys. So we are switching gears to another reading on Jude Bellingham and Ashlyn Castro. So this was a request from Beatriz Pinheiro. She said, please analyze the relationship between football player Jude Bellingham, who's currently 22 years old. He is a Cancer. And Ashlyn Castro. She is a Sagittarius. Let me pull out my handy dandy so I can navigate through these pictures here. So Jude is an English star athlete, soccer player at the middle fielder position, currently on Spain's Real Madrid team. But Manchester United has bid £150 million for him last week to try to snag Jude for their team, just to give you an idea of how valued and coveted Jude is as a player. For those like myself that don't follow soccer, or football as it's called globally. But taking it back to better times, Jude and Ashlyn went public with their romance at the beginning of this year after fans noticed social media activity between them a year ago around November 2024. We saw them recently enjoy a vacation yachting around the Italian Isle of Sardinia this September, looking relaxed, happy, sun-kissed, and affectionate on beaches and in fancy places. Ashlyn is an Instagram model / influencer from LA, and she looks exactly as you would imagine when you hear LA influencer. The dark hair, tanned, got the filled lips, the boobs, all the curves filled racially ambiguously, maybe Latina, maybe Moroccan, maybe just white American, leaning into the early Kardashian aesthetic. Actually, when I was searching through the images of Ashlyn for my thumbnail, I thought I was seeing Kim K in some of the pictures because they looked so much alike. And then it turned out it actually was Kim K. Kim Kardashian hired Jude for some of her Skims marketing and also took her son to see one of his games where she took her famous cringe kissy face selfies. So both in work and in business, it seems Jude enjoys being surrounded by that kind of beauty. And this is not the first high-profile relationship for Ashlyn either. She's been linked to past romances with Michael B. Jordan and NBA players LaMelo Ball and Terrence Mann in the past. But now, because Jude is such a global superstar athlete, her relationship with him is putting even more spotlight on her and generating more curiosity about her than before. Many fans, such as Beatriz, are interested in knowing more about their romance. So let's see what the cards can tell us about Jude Bellingham and Ashlyn Castro's relationship. I'll cut all of this out when I upload the polished clips, but for those of you currently on the stream, you have to see the raw and the real. As usual, because I'm trying to give you guys more. No other tarot channel is doing this. Nobody's doing it like this. So enjoy the good and the behind the scenes. All right, well, I already gave that good background. Let's see if the spirit can tell me about their intentions or the current energy between Jude Bellingham and Ashlyn Castro. Is this a long-lasting connection or is there trouble in paradise, Spirit? What can you tell me about the intentions or current energy of Jude Bellingham and Ashlyn Castro? Let's see what pops out. Oh, those Kardashians don't rest. That's what someone in the comments is saying. Yeah, they are definitely lovers of the spotlight, and a new romance is the best way to get more press and publicity. So let's see what the first card is for this reading on Jude Bellingham and Ashlyn Castro. Oh, wait a minute. So the Ten of Cups indicates that there is disharmony in someone's family foundation. And then we have the Star card. This came out upright. Usually this indicates hope and calmness, but in readings about famous celebrities and athletes, I tend to see this card to represent fame, stardom. So someone may have a lack of family foundation that is causing them to desire what this star athlete or the star power of someone can bring to their life. Let's see if we can get some more clarity on that. We have the Eight of Cups in reverse, indicating that someone's having a hard time leaving something that is not emotionally fulfilling. Then we have the Eight of Swords, indicating that someone is keeping themselves in a bad situation. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place, but this is actually self-destruction because there is a way out. It's just a matter of making the decision to take the steps to remove oneself and seek freedom. So thus far, it feels like the cards are giving me more of the energy from Ashlyn, that maybe she was attracted to the life of not just Jude specifically, but the life of any famous person. That lifestyle is attractive to her because there is something in her foundation that she is trying to repair or recreate, something in her family foundation, I should have specified. And there is something in this card that felt like it's about both of them, the Eight of Cups, indicating that there may be a lack of emotional fulfillment, but not enough to fully step away from the relationship as yet. So they're keeping themselves in it despite their feelings against, or what's a better way to say that? They're staying in the relationship despite it not necessarily being the best for them. Let's see if we can get some more clarity here. Yeah, someone's very determined to try to make this relationship work. So this Chariot card indicates determination, motivation, someone that is feeling like they have everything under control and feeling like they're being guided to continue in the direction that they're going in. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles, indicating that someone is not getting out what they've put into something, or they're very disappointed by the results, since there may have been time, money, effort invested, and it's not really paying off. It's not going to bear the fruit that someone wanted if they are to continue in that same direction. Now we see the Four of Pentacles. Someone's trying to hold on to their money. This indicates financially conservative, someone that is operating with a scarcity mentality, someone that's worried or nervous about losing their money. So I would think that that is Jude, since he is the one that is more recognized, more famous, and presumably has more resources than an influencer, more money to protect, more long-term money, I should say, to protect. Then we have the King of Swords. This is someone that is a leader or authority figure that is very precise, very articulate, someone that's thinking very clearly with their mind and not their heart, someone that's very disciplined. So I wonder if this could represent that there's an advisor advising Jude to be careful with his money, to not give too much into this relationship, in terms of, if you do continue with her, don't let it go as far as marriage and sharing assets, or at least have a prenup. That those may be some conversations that Jude is having with other people, whispering in his ear perhaps, but we didn't see anything here to indicate that Ashlyn is targeting him for his coins. Let me actually pull a few more, since I flew through those first four cards. Okay, we have that someone's gotten what they wanted, but it's not fulfilling. It's not working out the way they thought it would, which we kind of got a sense of that with the Seven of Pentacles. Now we're seeing it here with the Nine of Cups reversed. Here we see it financially. It's not working out financially. So this indicates that after that assessment, you have to redirect your efforts, your time, your resources. But now this is emotionally. You got what you wanted. It's not working out as you wanted emotionally. So that would indicate that one has to either change their expectations or redirect their emotions. But redirect their emotions, meaning you would have to maybe leave the relationship and start something new, especially if it's not emotionally fulfilling for one or both parties. But currently someone's feeling like they're stuck because of that Eight of Swords, indicating they feel like can't really get out of it just yet. Not really in the best position to get myself out of this just yet. Then we have the Four of Wands, indicating instability in one's personal life or home life, and someone may be looking to leave their home, leave their foundation, leave this relationship because things are maybe argumentative, tense, not necessarily going as one had planned, which, by the way, it looks like Ashlyn just celebrated her birthday a few days ago. So I would think that they are currently in the energy or spirit of celebration, since we did see Jude upload some nice pictures of them. That's one of the places that I was able to collect imagery for my slideshow. So I am surprised to see some of these cards indicating that there may be some trouble behind the scenes in terms of one or both parties in this relationship not getting what they wanted. And then we have this card kind of reinforcing that same message, that there is someone that's really disinterested or disappointed emotionally. When you see the Four of Cups upright, it's as if they are reevaluating some emotional connection that's no longer satisfactory. So this is a sense of dissatisfaction. You're so turned off that you're not even looking for more of whatever someone has to offer emotionally, or whatever the universe has to offer emotionally. Maybe one of the people in this relationship is not putting enough emotional availability into their relationship, because we received this card in reverse, indicating that there may be apathy, a sense of emotional disconnect, to where you can do without the relationship altogether. Someone may be ready to call it quits, or they're indifferent. I could do with or without it. So this is making sense in terms of the other cards that we got here, like the Eight of Cups reversed. Again, reinforcing that idea that someone's not emotionally fulfilled and ready and willing to get out of it, but for whatever reason, they're still currently anchored to the relationship or that person, and there hasn't been enough reason to step away from it yet. So it's kind of like a passive way of not dealing with it, is just by not putting enough into the relationship, leaving one or both people in the relationship to be dissatisfied. So let's just get one more card out here. Yeah, we see the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles upright indicates someone that is reliable, responsible, methodical, productive, efficient, someone that is diligent and gets things done. But in reverse, this is someone that's unreliable. This is someone that is disorganized. I'm actually drawing blank, so let me see if I can just pull my card. This is someone that is maybe not what they showed themselves to be. I don't see my future with this person. I don't see stability with this person. So yeah, ooh, bored or boring. And that's exactly what we saw with this Four of Cups. So unreliable, bored, someone that's putting in the work, but not getting their rewards. Work without reward, perfectionism, lazy, someone's not putting in the work, someone is being passive about chucking this relationship to the side or not putting enough into the relationship. Unfortunately, a lot of people do that these days, where they don't want to be the one to break it off, but they also just want to turn someone off enough for them to be the bad guy and be the ones to leave. So it's kind of a way of saying, I don't like you enough to build a future with you, but whatever you do give me, I don't mind extracting that value, continuing to benefit from your energy, from your presence, from whatever, until you have had enough and step away. So maybe it's an image thing, maybe it's a passiveness thing. Let's remember that there is a bit of an age difference between Jude and Ashlyn. He's 20, I believe I said 21 or 22, and she is 27. So that's a 5-year age difference. Not much, they're both in their 20s, but it still is something. And maybe that is contributing to some of this, what seems to be emotional immaturity, that instead of actually being responsible and clear about communicating how you feel about a relationship, you're being passive and indifferent and allowing it to just fall apart on its own. So let's remember this word bored is another part of the Four of Cups, that when someone is so disinterested or possibly bored with the emotional connection, they are just apathetic, indifferent, emotionally detached, especially if they feel like they're not getting much out of it. So we're seeing a lot of reinforcers with this Knight of Pentacles in reverse card that we saw pulled out here. So based off these cards, I would conclude that the relationship wouldn't last long, but they may still be enjoying what they can of each other, because for whatever reason, they're not getting out of it just yet. The card, nothing about the cards indicated a breakup, but so far there's a lot of concerns of, I guess, I would assume it's Jude just trying to protect his assets and his wealth and his emotions as well. It seems like he doesn't really want to give much into the relationship in terms of compromise and sacrifice. And it's difficult to have a relationship where both sides have to contribute. That's, you're lacking partnership if you just want to keep it one-sided, to where that person is the one that provides the emotions. That person is the one that navigates and flies over to you and navigates your schedule. So if it's one-sided because maybe he's determined and focused with his career and his stardom and his fame, while she is probably the one that's a little more emotional and she's not getting that emotional fulfillment, then this relationship doesn't seem sustainable. And if he's being selfish and greedy and focused on the money, thinking that he's just being targeted for his money, then that also is not the energy that will allow a relationship, not just with Ashlyn, but with anyone to proceed. No woman, or if it's a man, no partner in a relationship is going to want to build a future with someone that doesn't even trust them financially, or thinks that everyone's out to just take advantage of them. Usually that's a projection. When someone thinks that you're just there to take advantage of their resources, their money, their stardom, their fame, usually they're projecting the fact that they only see those kind of benefits in other people. Like they couldn't imagine just wanting to be with someone just because they like them. And I'm actually surprised to see these cards again. As I said, when I was viewing images of them, preparing the thumbnails and the visuals, it seemed like they were very lovey-dovey, especially on the vacation in Sardinia. They seemed, to be very affectionate and loving and enjoying each other's company. And maybe that's all it is for now. I mean, he is so young. I wouldn't expect him to be thinking about marriage or anything long-term at this time in his life. So, oh, look at that. Page of Pentacles in reverse. I wasn't going to pull any more cards, but since it came out, this indicates someone that is immature, greedy, not putting in the work to get their own money, maybe even materialistic. So because this is a card that indicates youth, I'm thinking this might even be Jude. I know it's a feminine visual, but it kind of energetically felt to me like this is Jude. Like he's just thinking about his money, his flashy, expensive lifestyle. Well, I wouldn't say flashy, but just the lifestyle that his sort of income could afford, because those star football players, soccer players, they generate a lot of money since it's such a big globally loved sport. So as I was just saying, since he's so young, he doesn't really have any long-term love and commitment on his mind. He's just enjoying the moment, the presence of a beautiful woman like Ashlyn, and keeping his eye on his money for the long term, because right now he's maybe frivolous and, spending on materialistic things, and he's worried about someone being greedy, as I described with this card previously. So surprised to see these cards, but since they're so young, it's not like this is going to be ruining anyone's life. It seems like as we saw in the pictures, they're enjoying each other's time for now, and eventually someone will step out of the relationship and move on to find something more emotionally fulfilling. I'm thinking it's going to be Ashlyn. She's probably going to be like, I want a family, and I don't want to keep bending to your superstar schedule or expectations. I'm accommodating you, and I'm not getting enough reciprocity out of it. So let's see. What did she say? What did F. Toby say? She's an Instagram model who's only looking for a retirement. Everyone says that about these Instagram models. But what about the men that target them for their beauty? So it seems like maybe it's an even exchange, because as I showed in the visuals in the intro, Jude likes to be surrounded by women that look like Kim Kardashian. She definitely does. So these are men that feel like, well, I'm at the top of my industry. I have the money. I have the fame. I need to have the most beautiful girls next to me in my life. And so they too are viewing beauty as a currency. So if the Instagrammer, what do you call her? Ashlyn. If those kind of girls like Ashlyn and Instagram model girls are considered gold diggers just because there are athletes or rich men that are interested in dating them, then those men are maybe beauty diggers, because they too see value in being with a woman like that. It's not just one way. And also, it's odd to find money in your life or make money in your life and not expect that to be attractive, because who wants to be with someone that's going to take away from your life instead of adding to it? Everyone wants to have their partner add to their life. And if a woman could see that a man would add financial stability, that's going to be a point of attraction. So if you think that any woman that comes into your life is going to be a gold digger, is going to block you from a lot of emotional connections, which we kind of saw that in the 8 of Cups and the 4 of Cups and some of the other cards that were there. So seems like a typical imbalance, emotional financial imbalance, and a cycle of toxicity that we see in a lot of these relationships with a richer, more famous person and someone that is either younger or more beautiful. And in the beginning, it seems like they have some sort of mutual attraction or mutual beneficial, what do you call a symbiotic relationship. And then eventually people start to feel, oh, there's imbalances. Oh, we're letting the public's input or opinions affect our mentality. So it's sad, but not surprised. Unfortunately, it happens way too often. So let's move into, what time is it? Let me see. There's a lot more readings here, but I kind of was hoping that tonight would be brief. I'll do 2 more readings. Let's see. We have Kylie, Miley Cyrus, Cher, Harvey. So for those of you on the stream, can you let me know which of those are you most interested in hearing about? Miley Cyrus, newly engaged fiancé Maxx Morando. We can look at their energy. We could look at Kylie and Timothée Chalamet. We could look at Lori Harvey, who it seems like she rekindled with Damson Idris. Or we could look at Cher, who is rumored to be engaged to a guy that is maybe perhaps problematic based off of his toxic history. So, Lori Harvey and Damson, the chat has spoken. Awesome. So oh wow, actually, it is very appropriate and nice to do this reading on Lori Harvey and Damson Idris today because it's actually Lori Harvey's birthday. She just turned 28 today. She is a Capricorn. December 21st is her birthday. Happy birthday, Lori. Nice. So we recently saw Lori boot up in pictures laying on Damson Idris' chest. Now, they used to be together. It seems like they broke up for a while. And now recently we have seen them in recent months in a few pictures that have popped up. It looks like they have rekindled. Damson Idris is an actor. He is a Virgo, 34 years old. So that is, let's see, about a 6-year age gap. Not bad at all. 28 and 34 years old. I think that's very appropriate, very decent, especially for Hollyweird or Hollywood. And it seems like they have great chemistry through the picture. So let's see what the cards have to say. Spirit, what can you tell me about Lori Harvey and Damson Idris? Oh, it might be too many cards. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's too many cards, but I still like to see them just in case any of them pop out again. We have the Queen of Wands, Hanged Man, Page of Swords reverse, and 8 of Swords. So let's see what we get after I do one more riffle shuffle. Happy birthday, Lori! Yes! Happy birthday, Lori Harvey. Isn't she gorgeous? My goodness. What a beauty. She is a cutie. And Damson's pretty handsome too. For those of you that saw my Who's Hotter, I did a Who's Hotter during the Halloween weekend. I'm going to upload that clip soon, but for those of you that saw the live stream, I compared him to her other ex, Michael B. Jordan, and it was hard to choose because they each are very handsome, eligible bachelors. Well, we thought they were eligible bachelors. Now we're seeing that Damson Idris is actually back with this beauty, this cutie, this Lori Harvey. So let's see what the spirit can tell us about their energy. Spirit. Oh, interesting. We got the High Priestess to start off this reading about the energy between Lori Harvey and Damson Idris. So the High Priestess usually indicates someone that needs to listen to their intuition, listen to their gut. So could this be a warning? Or could this be letting us know that they actually feel each other on a soul level, on a spiritual level? They like each other in a way that just feels good and harmonious to their spirit. So let's get a few more cards out. We have the Four of Cups. Yikes. As we saw in the previous reading, the Four of Cups actually indicates someone that may be emotionally removed and indifferent. Someone that may be apathetic, extremely disinterested emotionally in what someone has to offer after a period of contemplation. So maybe they're just having fun. Maybe they're not fully emotionally invested, but they still feel like a spiritual connection to each other. Or again, this could be a warning saying things on the surface are not as they seem. trust the subconscious, whatever your inner feelings are telling you that maybe something's not wrong, something's not right with this person, maybe something's off with them. Sometimes we have to not overlook those hunches. So then we have the Queen of Pentacles. This indicates someone that is not good at balancing their work life and their personal life. So maybe one of them is not available enough for the other. I would assume that it's Damson, since he is an actor, those that requires long hours to shoot series or films. So maybe F. Toby said Lori's a Queen of Pentacles. Well, it could be, because she also does her businesses, her, brand ambassadorships, and she tried to have a skincare and whatever else. Capricorns. Oh, yes, you are right. Queen of Pentacles is a Capricorn. Thank you, F. Toby. That's why I love having my informed audience. The viewership is on point with that. That's right. She is a Capricorn. So Queen of Pentacles, indicating someone that doesn't have good work-life balance. But this could also be someone that could be smothering or nagging. So taking it back to the issue I was exploring or imagining, that maybe one of them, likely Damson Idris, doesn't have enough time and availability to give to the relationship, whereas the other one might be needing or expecting more from the other, in terms of to the point where it starts to feel like she's nagging and suffocating. Could also be the other way around. I mean, I don't really know what they're working on right now, so it seems like maybe that's why they're enjoying each other's time. But once Damson gets a project or whatever Lori Harvey works on, I think at one point she did some acting, but I don't know if that's her career. Once they get busy, it seems like that is part of the issue of what maybe caused them to break up before, because this Queen of Pentacles, as I said before, indicates some work-life imbalance. So suffocating, nagging, work-life imbalance, and also materialism. Someone might be materialistic in that relationship that may have turned the other person off in the past. And maybe that is still something that is lingering in terms of the concerns that they may have amongst them. Then we have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, just as I was saying, someone's very busy in that relationship. Someone's trying to balance two or more things of value, trying to juggle their career with their personal life, with whatever other responsibilities. I am again feeling like it's Damson, but this is indicating a need to be organized, a need to have your priorities in check, and financially, of course, prioritize your coins, because especially in the acting industry, once you're hot, you have to kind of strike while the iron is hot. You have to seize the opportunities. Look at that. We have the Six of Pentacles. This is the energy of someone with abundance giving and someone in need receiving. So there is either a desire for this sort of relationship where someone is able to be a provider, or maybe this is a dynamic that's already happening. Maybe that is part of what they're enjoying in the relationship right now, that one of them is able to step into that role of provider. I would assume it's Damson taking care of Lori like a true gentleman should, and that's why she enjoys the dates with him. I mean, Capricorn women are usually pretty good with their money too. Capricorns in general, not just the women. And let me just remind myself, okay, Damson's a Virgo. So they're both Earth. So they should both be pretty decent with money. But Capricorns have more of that reputation of, let me see what, I have the chat in front of me this time. So I get a little distracted when I look up and I see, but I like to see what you guys are saying while I'm doing this reading. So if Toby said, Damson is giving more to Lori habits. So you're right. Yeah. It seems like he may be in his off season. I mean, most industries are winding down or on break right now since we're entering the holidays, and maybe she's just enjoying this life of luxury of a actor. Is he a star? I don't know what he's been in, but I know his face from dating her. I know he's handsome. I know he just released a jewelry line, and I don't know if his body of work is such that he gets so much money. Like, I know Michael B. Jordan, he's a star. He has been in some really prestigious projects, but from what I saw, it just seemed like he's in a series. And so I didn't know if a Netflix series would get the same kind of money that feature films, big cinema movies, big productions like that would get. But either way, whatever he's got, he's being generous with it. He's playing the role of provider, and this seems to be a positive in their dynamic. The only issue I see here is maybe someone not wanting to invest themselves emotionally again because of what that does for their relationship once one of them gets busy and becomes unavailable, and that causes some conflict because of the imbalance, the inability to be available to the. Oh, F. Toby said he had a movie called F1. Okay, so he's done some film too. So good. Uh-oh, the Lover's card in reverse. Yeah. It seems like they are, like there's something about them where they are very attracted to each other. Maybe they knew each other in a past life, but ultimately there's disharmony. It's not a good match. It's not going to work out long term. This is not going to be husband and wife. There's something off there according to this Lover's card in reverse. Maybe they don't have the same goals. Maybe they're meeting each other at the wrong time in each other's life. But if they're okay with just enjoying the good for now and not necessarily planning for their future, as some of the cards indicate, then, good for them. At least they could just be present, take the good, leave the bad. And this King of Swords now is indicating that there is an authority that is trying to either advise them. I would think Damson, because for whatever reason, people are always trying to protect men's money, even if they don't have that much more than the woman. But there is a masculine energy or an authority or someone that is a very clear thinker, someone thinking with their head and not their heart. Someone that is very articulate, very precise, very honest and truthful, maybe even sharp and cutting with their words. That seems to be either the mentality of one of the people in this relationship or an advisor to one of the people in this relationship. Something just said, oh, maybe it's Steve Harvey. Maybe it's Steve Harvey. Maybe it's whoever works with Damson as a, estate planner or accountant or manager. But there is definitely someone trying to slow down the emotions and focus on being smart. But I mean, they're young enough to where it's like they should be able to just like let loose a bit, be free, enjoy love, or enjoy fun and dating without thinking so much about the money, the brand, which I didn't even see that much of that here. It's more so about the availability is the only thing that seems. Emotional availability and availability with time seem to be the two issues in the relationship. But this King of Swords indicates that someone might have some mental blockages or sternness that is contributing to these barriers of, let me not give too much emotionally, let me not reprioritize for this relationship. Let me see what the comments are saying. Damson had a movie. I was waiting on the Lovers in reverse. Really? Did you anticipate that coming? Wow. Yeah, because it seems like they have a very strong connection, which is why we're seeing the Lovers instead of the Two of Cups, because that's when it's something that feels like there must be soul ties, like maybe we knew each other from a past life, like this is something, life-changing in this connection, in this relationship. But since it's in reverse, it just feels like that intensity is not really going to take them far. That chemistry, that enjoyment of each other, it's not going to carry them as far as everlasting long-term love. It could also indicate that one of them might have problems in their love life for the rest of their life. That might be one of the challenges that they've been sent into this life to overcome, I should say. We know that Lori Harvey has been very famous for her dating life, but we haven't really seen Damson out with many people. So maybe this is also supposed to be a learning lesson for her. Who knows? Let's pull out one more card to see if we get some more clarity. Either way, someone's not trying to get lost in this sauce. People, or one of the people in that relationship, or one of their external advisors, it could be a parent, it could be someone in the management team, is telling the other, sorry, one of my rings is getting caught in my skin. 1 second, this hurts. Okay, ow, okay. Constantly adjusting my rings. Yes, someone is telling them, think with your mind, not your heart. Let's be smart. Let's focus and prioritize on the money and our schedule and give priority to our career. Oh, why did I take out 2? Well, interesting. So we have the Moon card, which indicates fears, anxieties, illusions. it may not be what it seems, which we got a hint of that here in the High Priestess, that there may be something that someone needs to listen to in their gut, in their intuition. So someone doesn't have the full picture as yet. There's something that's still in the dark about what someone's personality could really be. You know, sometimes when you're dating someone, it's all good. Everything's so sweet. And they could be a completely different person if you step into commitment, step into sharing a home, step into considering starting a family. And maybe this, let me see. Yes, they are just for, okay. And then the Strength card reverse indicates that someone may have some weaknesses or some doubts, which makes sense because if there is anxiety, fear, or doubts, and we're seeing that doubled down here in the Strength card, as well as I said with the High Priestess card, someone trying to listen to their gut, and there's hesitations for any full emotional commitment. We're seeing that maybe this relationship will not go the distance. It won't be, as we said, a long-term, everlasting love. This won't end in marriage, but at least it seems like they're just having fun for now until things pick back up and Damson is super busy again and not able to give as much to the relationship as maybe Harvey would like, or vice versa, whichever one of them is busier. Yes, good point, Toby. Yeah, there may be some secrets to come out with this High Priestess and the Moon card. Both of them indicate secrets, something hidden, something in the dark. The full picture has not been revealed as yet. So it's just a matter of having patience and weathering the dimness of the night, using the light of the moon to carry you until the sun comes out. You see everything for what it is, and then you can make some decisions based off of what you learn, what's revealed. So while there's doubts, while there's incompatibility based on the priorities that they each have, at least for the moment, it looks like they are enjoying time off from work, free time during the holidays, rekindling their romance, enjoying something familiar, and relatively young love, right? Because they're both still in their 20s. So, I mean, I hope it's not true, but it kind of makes sense that this is what the cards are saying. And really interesting, Toby, that you said that you were looking for the Lover's card in reverse. So which reading should we do now? I had here on my list, I kind of want to make sure I hit whatever's on the thumbnail because I usually get pressed. Someone always comes in the comments, did you do XYZ yet? Based off of what they see on my thumbnail. I'm like, no, I was too tired. I streamed for 5 hours. I couldn't get to it. So I want to try to prioritize some of that. You want to see Cher? Okay, let me just mention the others so you can make a vote again. Miley Cyrus, new engagement. Kylie Jenner with Timothée Chalamet. To be honest, I don't care. It's just for you guys. Someone requested that. Cher with this very young boyfriend. There's like a 40-year age gap. Wowzers. Lady Gaga with her fiancé Michael Polanski. They've been together for a while. She's like a serial fiance. And yeah, the others I'll probably leave for another day. Cardi B, Katy Perry, Ariana Grande, Tyra Banks. Surprised to see her in the news again. Taylor Zakar Perez, Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, Candace Owens, Melania Trump. Yeah, all that politics stuff. We'll leave that for the next stream. Okay, so let's see. You guys are saying Cher or Miley. Let me see if someone could give a tiebreaker. Anyone in my Twitch chat want to chime in if you'd rather see a reading on Cher or Miley? Well, I'm not able to see my Twitch chat right now. So let's see. Okay. Toby, you're interested in Miley too? Okay, so let me do a fresh shuffle with Miley in my heart. Let me start that up again. Let me go back to the top of my notes. All right, Miley Cyrus, 33. She's a Sagittarius. So many Sagittariuses that were on the list tonight for readings. I guess the industry is full of a lot of Sagittariuses. The entertainment industry, because we have musician Sagittariuses, actress Sagittariuses. So I guess they are so energized that they're good at being entertainers. But Miley Cyrus, that is celebrating the end of her Sagittarius season. Oh, actually, no, her birthday was November 23rd. She's 33, and after 4 years of dating, recently engaged to her new fiance, Maxx Morando. I hope I'm saying that right. Maxx is 27. He's a Scorpio, so both Miley and Maxx have November birthdays. They have a 6-year age gap. In the Miley reading that I did last month, I actually got the 4 of Wands, which indicated she may be attending a wedding. So at the time, I think I interpreted it as, of course, celebrations, but I was thinking, because I loved Miley's New Year's, a New Year's program that she was doing a couple years ago. I was like, ooh, hopefully she reprises that. Maybe she was going to bring that back and do her New Year's celebration show again. But lo and behold, it is wedding bells are ringing. So we saw that in my last Miley reading. Let's see what comes out now. Spirit, what can you show me about the energy between Miley Cyrus and her new fiance, Maxx Morando? Kuchunga said Twitch people are sleeping. I don't know. Those Twitch people are usually up late. I think it's just that I can't see their chat. I can't see that chat right now because my dashboard is jam-packed with so much stuff that I had to set up for like the visuals and my notes and blah, blah, blah. But it's all right. At least we're catching up with some of these readings. I wanted to give you guys so much fresh content leading into the holidays because in the New Year's, I really want to dig into my editing and catch up with that. I have so much to catch up with. Wish I could be established enough to have an editor, but no one's going to do it like me. So if you want it well done, you got to do it yourself. So let's get back to this reading. Spirit, what can you tell me about the energy between Miley Cyrus and Maxx Morando, her new fiance? What can you tell me about the energy of their relationship? Will they go the distance? Is this a good partner for her? Okay, let's see what the card says. Uh-oh. 6 of Swords. Someone regretfully moving on from something or someone that didn't serve them, but something that was really painful and destructive. They're now moving into a calmer place or state in their life. So actually, this is good. Maybe it's Miley that after whatever previous relationship she had or whatever potential chaos or toxicity she had experienced before, now she's stepping into a calm partnership. Very nice. So I thought at first I was thinking, oh no, it's like someone's already thinking about having one foot out before they're even really fully into it. But now that I got the energy, it's actually a positive. This is one of the most popular cards of the night, surprisingly, the Chariot card. So this is the energy of someone being very determined, very focused. Someone's on their grind. Someone has a sense of direction. I really want to get this done. Someone is really committed to not only this relationship, but having a successful relationship and marriage under their belt. So again, I'm feeling like it's Miley, because the other guy, the energy of Maxx feels like it might be very chill from what I saw in the pictures. So this is, I think this is a Cancer card. Miley's a Sagittarius. He's a Scorpio. So he's a water sign. But yeah, someone is determined to step into this new chapter in their life where they're calm, they're stable. I'm getting the energy of someone that wants to just rush into setting up their life in a more stable and established way, but in a positive way too. Okay, so here we have the Knight of Pentacles. So hold our horses, folks, because it seems like there's someone that's unreliable, maybe putting in the work for something and they're not really getting back what they expected. Someone might be bored or boring. Let's see if we can get some more information from these cards, I should say. We're seeing immaturity, someone not fully developed, not fully prepared for the next stage of their life, an adventure, a new venture, I should say, with this Fool card in reverse. So we're starting to see a little bit of concerning messages in those cards. Then we have the 5 of Cups reversed, indicating that after a period of grief, loss, sorrow, maybe dwelling on some pain or some some disappointments from the past or regrets from the past and ignoring the good things in one's life, now we see a willingness to leave that behind and start fresh or appreciate what someone has in their life now. Let me see. Oh, thank you so much, Toby. That is truly, it's so it's the highest compliment to hear that from other readers. So thank you. I mean, I'm honored. Thank you. I love having other readers, in my community, in my environment. I love having informed viewers. But if you have your own channel and you are a reader as well, I mean, this is just the best compliment that you can pay me. So thank you so much. Hearts right back at you. Thank you. So yeah, with this 5 of Cups, it looks like someone is getting to the other side of grief and loss, very similar to what we had seen in this 6 of Swords card. And we are again seeing the frown turned upside down, since for those of you that have followed Miley Cyrus and some of her very public relationships, the most popular one that I know of was with Liam Hemsworth, which is a handsome actor from Australia. But behind the scenes, the rumors were that he was perhaps controlling or judgmental. And even when I looked at the pictures, when I was looking for pictures for the thumbnails, I could see energetically Miley wasn't fully herself in the pictures with Liam the way I see her in the pictures with this Maxx guy, where she looks vibrant. She looks vivacious. She looks the young, fun, perky Miley that we know and love, versus with Liam, it seemed like she had to tone it down, be a little more conservative, do that glamour Hollywood look that we usually see so many other people copy and repeat. So she wasn't able to be her fullest self because it felt like he was going for a certain image in the industry. I never read on them before, just going by the energy that I picked up on the images. So it's great to see her looking and feeling more like herself. And that was a good indicator in this relationship. But these couple cards that we got were concerning, and these are very positive and encouraging. So I'm wondering what these next 3 cards are going to be. Okay, Strength card in reverse. We also saw this in the previous reading. So this indicates weaknesses and self-doubts or doubts in general. And it could be that the desire to move into another relationship or to move into a new chapter in someone's life is contributing to these doubts. Maybe you feel like, well, it didn't work out in the past. Am I crazy for thinking it's going to work out now? And I was weak to whatever grief, pain, loss, and sorrow I experienced before. Am I perhaps putting myself in another vulnerable situation? So this sense of vulnerability may be an anxiety or hesitation that one or both of these people have in the back of their mind. I would think that this is Miley. Miley's probably thinking that, should I reconsider? Am I being too risky by starting this relationship and locking in and getting married again? I think that's natural. If someone's about to get married, I feel like everyone's going to consider, wait a second, what am I doing here? I'm going to do life with someone again. I'm going to make it official in black and white and take out the papers and do the whole wedding. But these 2 cards indicated that someone may have done the work. Someone is prepared to get to the other side of something with the 6 of Swords and this 5 of Cups. The emotional work may have already been done. So it's just a matter of allowing one's ego, one's psyche, one's energy to catch up with believing that they are prepared for that next stage that they seem to be moving forward with. That Chariot card is a forward energy. It is an aggressive and assertive energy that is determined to push forward. So I would say these 2 cards actually balance each other out, because you're never going to be fully confident that this is the person until you actually step into that stage of your relationship and see how it goes. So at least if it's Miley or whichever one of them is hesitant because of any past grief, loss, or feeling burned, whichever one of them has that hesitation, they're not letting that stop them from at least giving this love a chance. So I would say that's a good idea. But wait a minute, with this 5 of Wands indicating a sense of competition and conflicts, it seems like energetically what I felt was they're not fighting with each other. Some people around them, maybe there's a lot of strong opinions about the wedding. Maybe, I don't know what Maxx does, but maybe Miley is juggling her personal life, her relationship versus some of her career ambitions. Maybe her management team is asking her to do XYZ, and maybe Miley is being resistant and defiant and saying, I'm going to do what I want to do. So just going with my intuition, it does not feel like they're fighting amongst each other. This feels like external forces, this Five of Wands. But if there is conflicts between the two of them, some fight or disagreement that they have behind the scenes, then they may be hiding well, because again, the pictures to me energetically felt like they were actually well matched. Like, it's always good to see someone looking and feeling like themselves, which I saw from Miley, but we don't really know Maxx, so I don't know if he's being himself. And maybe if there is any like small arguments or ongoing disagreements that they have, that may be contributing to this sense of feeling doubt. Maybe that sense of weakness is because one of them might feel like the other is constantly winning these spats, these smaller arguments. So there might be concern about like, okay, if I'm getting into a long-term relationship with someone that is constantly having it their way, is that really the best match for me? So let's see what this last card is, the Ace of Swords, which usually is a really great card. It is one of the strongest yes cards in the tarot deck, indicating that there is truth, there's honesty, there's mental clarity. So I would assume this means that they are powering forward in this marriage, having already thought it out. This indicates new ideas and breakthroughs. So a fairly positive card to end this reading on. I mean, I'll even take a look at the bottom of the deck to see. Yeah, so this is the useful curiosity and excitement about exploring a new love, a new possibility. You're feeling creative and artistic. You're listening to your intuition. You're perhaps even very focused on making something work, similar to some of what we saw here in the Chariot card. But it's a very youthful energy, and so that allows for some excitement, but it also allows for naivete. Let me see, what else did we see here? Ooh, someone hasn't learned from their battles with this Nine of Wands in reverse. Someone hasn't learned from their past experiences in order to get themselves to the next and last stage of whatever life experience or life cycle they keep repeating. Because the Nine of Wands upright indicates someone that is persevering and resilient through a time of many battles and difficulties. And it's just a matter of weathering that storm, keeping your guard up, being smart, and what's the word? You got to just be tough and toughen it out and get to the end. But when it's in reverse, there's a level of frustration that you're stuck at this stage without being able to reach the 10, which is completion. And that means that usually someone hasn't learned from their past. They haven't learned from the battles or the challenges and the conflicts that they have experienced. So I wonder if that is doubling down on this idea of doubt. There's reason to have doubt because someone might be repeating habits, repeating cycles, repeating this conflictive energy or behavior that is causing arguments, or just having this self-doubt, insecurity. That's what I was looking for. This lack of change in approach, or this lack of learning from past challenges, is keeping one stuck in this mentality of insecure. And hi, Chicken Ham. We're wrapping up a reading on Miley Cyrus and her new fiancé, Maxx Morando. We got some mixed cards here indicating that someone might be advancing with this relationship because they're really determined to get on the other side of pain, loss, grief, and some difficult situation or environment, some toxic past that they're leaving behind, some baggage that they're moving on from to get to a more calm, peaceful, and stable part in their life. But there were elements here that indicated there was hesitation about taking risks. There is maybe someone not really fully getting back what they're putting into something, or maybe someone's being lazy and not giving as much as they get. This could also be someone feeling bored or someone being unreliable. But with these last few cards that we have here, it indicates that there is still some work to be done, because there may still be some naivete, some need for self-development in terms of someone that may be repeating some bad habits or some mistakes that contribute to conflict in one's relationship, that contribute to hardship and staying stuck in a certain level that does not allow for completion. There's some immaturity or, again, lack of self-development that still needs to be worked on. So I think I'll leave it there. She really wants a family. Miley really wants a family, but someone might be partying too hard, socializing too much. There might be too much public scrutiny and gossip with this Three of Cups in reverse. So there's goals and then there's reality. And hopefully this engagement is able to step into marriage in the most healthy, in the most healthy way, if they're able to overcome whatever challenges and hurdles they currently have, because it did not seem like the concerning cards were that big of a deal, but it does seem like there still is work for them to do before they're able to be in a long-term commitment flawlessly. And I hope that Miley gets her family one day. That's really nice to see at the end. It's a dream, and I hope that dream becomes a reality for her, even if it's not with this guy, maybe it's with someone else. But it is positive to see it in the upright, and it's just about navigating some external forces as well as some internal work that needs to be done by one or both of them. It felt like a lot of the cards in this reading were mostly for Miley's energy. I didn't see too much of the Maxx guy in here, but I wish them well. I hope that they're able to overcome in time to make it down the aisle, if it's meant to be, or not. Better to figure that out before you get down the aisle and before you have to look for a divorce attorney or an annulment. So let's see, who else do we have? We have Kylie Jenner, we have Cher, we have, I think I'll just leave it there because I don't want to put too much on our plate. Hey Chicken Ham, between Kylie Jenner and Cher and Lady Gaga, which reading would you prefer to see? Let's slip in one or two final readings to wrap up the stream tonight. You guys in the chat, let me know what reading you'd like to see. Cher? All right, let's do it. We have 2 for Cher. So Cher is 75 years old. The legendary Cher. She is a Taurus. She's engaged to her producer boyfriend, AE. Full name Alexander Edwards. He is 39. He's a Virgo. They have a 40-year age gap. Whoa. Now, at the beginning of this stream, we did a reading on a couple that had a 23-year age gap. And the reason that was so concerning is because not only is it a huge age gap, but it started when one of them was a teenager. This age gap is significantly larger, but it started while Alex, let me see his name again. I just lost my notes here. But it started while Alex Edwards was 36 or 37. So while the gap is huge, it is a very age-appropriate time for people to be dating any age. Because by 36 or 37, you are super grown, super mature, and one would hope you're wise enough to not be taken advantage of by someone that is perhaps looking to be a predator instead of a partner. So it is not the case in this partnership, but people are still sometimes surprised about the age gap. I don't know why. Cher is so fabulous. Of course she's going to want a younger, more youthful energy around, because she's always been so, as I said, fabulous, but she's always had flair. She's always had zest, and Cher is a very unique energy and spirit, it seems. We'll see what the cards have to say. But let me just continue here with my notes. So, wider age gap, but they met at a fully matured age. They first met at Paris Fashion Week in 2022, where Cher had a brief chat with him about his grills. Then a mutual friend gave him Cher's number. He texted her back, and they developed their relationship. So he co-produced her holiday album in 2023. They went red carpet official as a couple with their appearances at Paris Fashion Week in 2024. So that's last year. And now here we are, 3 years later, hearing that wedding bells may be ringing soon. Prior to this, I only knew of him from having a conflictive relationship with the mother of his child, model influencer Amber Rose. Amber shared that she suffered from his narcissistic abuse and serial cheating, which worsened around her birthing his son at the height of the COVID pandemic lockdowns. All of which AE later confirmed on someone's Instagram live that... Sorry, let me just scroll. I keep losing my notes, guys. I'm trying to get into character and have fun with it, but I keep losing visibility. So, all of which AE later confirmed on someone's Instagram live. On someone's Instagram live when he stated, "It's just who I am. At the end of the day, I'm me." So he had no shame or remorse about being narcissistic or giving a partner, the mother of his children, such a hard time and betraying her and being disloyal. He was really unbothered by that news being exposed. So, or that reality being exposed. So then let me just continue my notes. And now this is the person that may be marrying the legendary music and entertainment icon. Yikes. Well, let's see what the cards have to say about the relationship and the energy between Cher and AE. Spirit, what can you tell me about Cher and Alexander? Sorry if you guys hear my chair squeaking. It's just that it's like jammed into my table. And it's like a new chair that's like more plushy and it's higher, but it's just, Anyway, let's see what the cards have to say. Oh, I lost it. Whoa. I'll actually be right back. Sorry, guys. Someone's ringing the bell. I will be right back. Yes, indeed. We are back. Apologies for the break, but unfortunately, as I put in the comments, I'm dealing with a mini crisis. A bunch of my decks just got wet, which is the worst of the worst. I have some very expensive decks that are hard to replace that I'm hoping I will be able to salvage. I just laid them out to dry. I had a cup of water here that I didn't realize was uncovered. I keep my big 40-something ounce with me to stay hydrated during these stream marathons, tarot stream marathons. And unfortunately, as I went to answer the door, I knocked one over. So that is why the break was longer than I expected. So at least I'm back now. Thank you all for those of you that are still in the chat and still with me on this stream. I really appreciate you. But yeah, let me do one more reading since I was in the middle of getting one started and then wrap it up for tonight because I'm worried about my cards. I want to go focus on making sure they're okay. I don't know if Toby is still here, but for any of you that have ever done tarot or own tarot decks, you know how sensitive these cards are, especially since even if you can buy a new one, the connection to a deck as a tarot reader is important. So a lot of those decks have my energy on it already, my prayers, my, the moon energy and cleansing that I do with my incense, with my sound baths. So anyway, just venting, just sharing that I am dealing with a mini crisis that caused that delay. But let's change the energy and get back into the vibes of this CelebriTEA tarot reading live stream. So I believe we were just about to do a reading on Cher and her boyfriend. I was about to say bae. Cher and her boo possibly being engaged. Spirit, Could you give me some clarity on if Cher and Alexander, I keep forgetting his name, that's why I keep trying to go back to my notes. Let me just get back to this energy because I'm a bit frazzled from just now having to salvage my decks. Okay. Let's start all over again. All right, let's get back into this reading on Cher, the fabulous singer and entertainer, multi-generational talent, and Alexander Edwards, her boyfriend, possibly now her fiance, since there are rumors that they may have gotten engaged. Let's get some clarity on through the cards. Let's get some clarity through the tarot cards. Spirit, can you let me know if they are engaged? And if this is a healthy relationship? Oh, interesting. I think it's too many cards. Let me continue to shuffle. Let me actually do a bridge shuffle to really re-energize the deck. Oh, wow. Spirit, what can you tell me about Cher and her boyfriend, possible fiance, Alexander Edwards? I keep messing up his name because I was so used to saying Aaron at the beginning of tonight. Since we started the stream off with a reading on Aaron Taylor Johnson. So I'm trying to switch my brain to say Alex. Let me just say AE. Spirit, what can you tell me about Cher and her boyfriend AE? Is it true that they are engaged? Let's get a card out for that first. Is it true that Cher and AE are engaged? Let me actually shuffle the cards in a different direction because I see that they're kind of arching, which is not allowing me to shuffle them properly. Oh, wait, wrong direction. There we go. Okay. There we go. Much better. Now they're straight. Let me just do one more for good measure. All right. Spirit, what can you tell me about Cher and her boyfriend, possibly fiance, Alexander Edwards, AE? What can you tell me about Cher and AE? Is it true that they're engaged? What is the dynamic of their relationship? Let's get some clarity on this rumored engagement, Spirit. Is it true that Cher and AE are together? Is it true that Cher and AE are engaged? You see, this is the issue with wet cards. Like, they're not shuffling as they did before. So the energy is different. The energy of the deck is different. I guess I'll have to postpone my next few streams until I can get my cards, let them dry a bit. Okay, so we have a few cards that popped out. It might be too many again, but I just want to see what I have here. It is too many. High Priestess reversed, Queen of Swords upright, Eight of Pentacles reversed, Four of Wands reversed. That would indicate no to the marriage or celebration. Okay, so let's shuffle once more. I am again trying to get the best reading that I can out of a damp deck of cards because I just had an accident here where all of my beautiful decks have gotten wet, which is really heartbreaking. So let's see if I can persevere and get through this reading still. Otherwise, I might have to cut the stream and give my cards some time to dry, fully dry, and then come back to you all another day. Let's see if we can get something out of these cards. Spirit, can you tell me if the rumor of Cher being engaged to her boyfriend, Alexander Edwards, is true? Please let me know if the rumor is true, Spirit. Let's get some clarification on the relationship between Cher and her boyfriend, rumored fiance, AE. Is it true that they are engaged to get married? And what is the energy or the dynamic of their relationship, Spirit? Let's get some cards out to clarify that relationship. I think I just keep getting big chunks of cards that's not allowing me to really, because it keeps not feeling like it's for them. Maybe the first card, this would indicate someone rushing into something because there's passion there, there's lust. Three of Wands indicating it's not going to go far, it's not going to grow and expand. Five of Wands indicating competition and conflict. Seven of Cups indicating there are many options, many choices. So maybe there is a wandering eye, someone's weighing their options. But one more time, let me try to shuffle and get a reasonable amount of cards coming out. Not so many at a time. Spirit, please give me some clear messages about this rumor about this rumor. Is it true that Cher and her boyfriend Alexander Edwards, or AE, are engaged? Is it true that they will get married, Spirit? Give me some clarification on this. Okay. Ooh. I don't know if this is really positive, but here we have the Four of Swords upright, indicating that someone may be resting easy, re-energizing themselves to prepare for a strenuous stage or coming out of a strenuous and stressful stage. And the Ten of Pentacles reversed, indicating long-term wealth and stability of a family, long-term wealth and finances of some family foundation or someone's retirement, investment, savings, brand, and estate planning, assets. It's in reverse, so it indicates that things aren't going well. There's some sort of financial failure, maybe some bankruptcy or a lot of debt from one or both of the people involved in this relationship, which I would be surprised about because Cher should have some long money since she's been in the game for so many decades in the entertainment industry, being a superstar for so long. I would hope it's not her, but let's see if we can get some more information out here. Oh, Four of Wands upright. Now, when we saw a previous stack jump out, this was in reverse. So it was as if it was doubtful that they would get married. But now that we're seeing it upright, it's looking likely because the Four of Wands is about celebrations, possibly a wedding. This could also be a graduation, a birthday party, New Year's Eve party. But usually it has to do with something that one is celebrating in their home life, their foundations, their personal life, either for themselves or for someone else. So this is the first card that we're seeing to indicate, yes, the rumor might be true. Cher may be engaged. And since it's coming after the Ten of Pentacles, this indicates that either that's one of the concerns in the marriage about merging resources, merging wealth and finances. It could be a concern either because someone wants to make sure they're merging with the right person, or it could be a concern because someone said, check the sound, please. Okay, is the sound... Uh-oh. All right, so thank you guys for that heads up. It's always good to check and be sure. Better safe than sorry, because I hate to do these readings and then lose these readings because I don't realize that there are technical difficulties at play. So where we left off in this reading about Cher and her rumored fiancé, Alexander Edwards, aka AE, it looks like, yes, indeed, there may be wedding bells or a marriage that they may be attending, likely their own. This could also reflect the spirit of stability in their personal life. So maybe not necessarily going down the aisle, but just letting us know that they're committed to each other for the long run. But because we specifically asked if the rumor is true that that Cher is now engaged to her boyfriend, Alexander Edwards, her boyfriend of roughly 3 years, it seems like a yes, but there are concerns about the long-term wealth and finances, about merging their wealth. So I would assume either Cher wants to be very careful and sure about her decision, or maybe there is something about her estate that requires her to choose someone to inherit it. Maybe she thinks that yikes, wait a second. When I look at this card, this Four of Swords, this could be reinterpreted just off of the visuals as someone that is bedridden, someone that may be sick and seeing their last days. And as we said at the top of the stream, Cher is currently 79 years old. So maybe she is experiencing some health challenges that we are unaware of that may drive her to be thoughtful or concerned about estate planning and establishing who will inherit some of her wealth. Of course, she has children, but perhaps she's just thinking about in the long run, based on however much wealth. I assume that she's a wealthy woman with all of her years in show business, but that seems to be what I'm picking up on the cards visually. I did explain the definition of the cards, but it's making more sense when I look at the visuals that may actually be part of the reason. If it's true that Cher is engaged and considering a marriage, part of the reason may be because she feels that due to her health, something that we may not know about in the public, or just because of the age even, she may be thinking, let me think ahead and start setting someone up to be part of my estate just in case I leave this plane sooner than expected. Oh no, I hope not, Cher. I hope you see many more years of life, many happy years, of course, many healthy years. But if indeed your time is coming to an end, then I guess it does make sense to pass it on to someone, because we see a lot of times that wealthy people pass it on to like a dog or something. So at least she's thinking of passing it on to a human and celebrating on the way. So, but then we have the Tower, which is kind of reinforcing what I was just interpreting here, where Cher may be looking to avoid some disaster. This disaster could again be related to her passing away and maybe having no one in the will to pass it on to beyond her daughter's son. I believe she had a daughter that transitioned into a man, and I don't know if she has any other kids outside of that. So she may be trying to avoid that disaster of estate planning not going as well as she would have liked. And this could also indicate maybe she's trying to avoid the disaster of marrying a guy that she maybe doesn't think suitable. We still haven't gotten the full picture of how Cher feels about this guy. We just pulled a few cards to know if the rumor is true. So I'm still pulling a few cards to clarify that, and then I'm going to switch into a reading to see what the energy between the two of them as a couple is. Okay, yeah, Cher's very energized and determined to see this plan turn into a reality. This is someone who is very motivated, energized, passionate, gregarious, warm, attractive, radiant. So she's very pumped about this plan or this relationship at this time, Cher is. So that would be the appropriate energy to move forward with a commitment such as marriage. But it could also indicate that someone may be being impulsive, which I hope she is not. There are some delays to this plan based off of this Eight of Wands reversed. So maybe she is dealing with some other considerations before she really reveals this engagement to the rest of the world, because that delay is followed by this Ace of Wands reverse, which indicates a lack of passion. Now that's not good once we see this passionate queen, but then this lack of passion in the environment from this Ace of Wands. This may be, again, delays, as we saw with this Eight of Wands reverse. Delays, disappointment, maybe even depression. This could also represent rejection, like someone not getting what they want, not getting reciprocity in a relationship. Or this could also be, as I said in the beginning, a lack of passion. Yikes. So let's see if we can get some clarity on that. One more here. Knight of Swords. So we're getting a mix of energy because the Knight of Swords is a fast thinker, someone that takes action, someone that is assertive, ambitious, competitive, a direct communicator, someone that comes in fast and furious. So these two energies of the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Swords have energy that is very much about forward motion. But then we get these two cards in the middle that are about delays and lack of passion. So there's not a match here energetically to indicate that this is for sure a wedding that's going to happen, for sure an engagement that has happened. There's so much uncertainty or a lack of alignment from what I see in these cards. So I'm not clear on if they will make it as far as marriage. The only card that supported that was this Four of Wands. So let me shuffle and try to get a reading on what the dynamic of their relationship is. Maybe that will help clear things up. Okay. Star. Cher is definitely a star. A very famous, legendary, iconic lady. So let's see if we can get some cards out to let us know. Actually, I feel like I should do a riffle shuffle one more time. Spirit, can you please show me what is the energy between Cher and her boyfriend, Alexander Edwards, who is 40 years younger? What is the energy and the vibe between her and her boyfriend of 4 years, who may possibly be her fiancé? What is the energy? What's the vibe? What does their future hold, Spirit? Let's get some cards out to communicate what is their relationship like, or what is coming for them in the future. Is it a marriage? Is it a breakup? Is it a partnership of convenience and something that's mutually beneficial? Is it an arrangement? Is it an agreement, Spirit? What can you show me? What can you tell me about the energy between Cher and her partner, Alexander Edwards, AE, Spirit? Let's get some cards out for them. For those of you just joining, I unfortunately just experienced a bunch of my cards getting soaking wet. This one didn't get wet too much. Fortunately, it was on this side. These didn't get wet. Everything over here got wet, and this got a little bit damp. So it's making it harder for me to shuffle. Yeah, it's making it harder for me to get a card to pop out like how I usually get during my readings. And if that persists, then I might have to just cut things short and allow my decks to dry so that I can properly shuffle them. But I'll give it one more try since we're already halfway through the Cher reading. Spirit, could you please show me what's the energy like between Cher and her rumored fiancé, current boyfriend, Alexander Edwards? So this is positive. We just saw the Ace of Wands in reverse. Now we're seeing it upright, which indicates passion, excitement. Someone that is excited to take advantage of a new opportunity that could be creative or just something that they're, again, really excited about. And then we have this Eight of Wands reversed, which we just saw in the previous reading where we asked if it's true that they're getting engaged. So this is the second time that if it's true that they're engaged. So this is the second time that we're seeing delays. Something about the pace is working against them, but at least there is passion. Let's see what else is behind that. Okay. After a period of anxiety, worry, fear, insomnia, maybe even depression, we get the Nine of Swords, but in reverse, indicating you have now overcome that. You have your mental state under control. You're not letting your fears and anxieties get the best of you, and you are feeling more calm, cool, and collected. This is about composure, mental composure, which I wonder how that applies in this relationship. Page of Wands. Wow. since we got the Ace of Wands in the beginning and now we're getting the Page of Wands, it's like someone who's excited about embarking upon a new passion. This is about discovery and exploration. This is a sense of feeling free, feeling youthful and curious and energized and very motivated. So it feels like this relationship definitely has some level of passion, because of these 4 cards, we've already gotten 3 from the suit of wands, but there's something that created some concern or worry that seems like they've gotten on the other side of that, but it's still lingering and creating delays. I wonder what that could be. Okay, someone got on the other side of their addictions or attachments with this Devil card in reverse, indicating that there may have been some vices or attachments such as codependency, use of substances, bad habits, bad influences. That could be external forces or outside people outside of the relationship, such as friends or family, co-workers that advise you against dating someone. It seems like those ties to anything destructive or toxic have been severed. So I would imagine that means that creates the environment for a relationship to flourish and to move forward in a healthier way, because that must mean that they are helping each other be a better version of themselves, ridding themselves of attachments, getting on the other side of unpleasant experiences and stepping into recovery, or again, just being a better, stronger version of themselves that's not so dependent on whatever this represents for them. Then we have the Queen of Swords. And this is someone who's very intelligent, independent, someone who has clear boundaries. And that's healthy to see in a relationship as well, to see that clear boundaries, lack of attachment indicates that no one person in this relationship is smothering the other. And yet we've seen them in the pictures looking happy with each other and you know, giving a good face to their partnership. So it seems like there's a healthy balance. The Queen of Swords is also a very good decision maker. She's perceptive, she's non-biased, she's clear-minded, and I think I said clear boundaries already. So maybe that is part of what's contributing to the delay. Maybe Cher is trying to be very smart, very wise about not committing and marrying just anyone. I think the last time she was married was Sunny, right? Sunny and Cher. It was the partnership that she had way back from the 70s. That's where she had, within that marriage, she gave birth to her child. And I haven't heard of her being married since, but I also haven't really kept up with Cher since I'm not really from that generation. I just know that she is legendary. So yeah, I guess she has been discerning most of her life in terms of not really rushing into other relationships. Or maybe I just don't know. Is she like an Elizabeth Taylor? Is she collecting rings, gotta catch them all like they're Pokemon, like a J-Lo? Is she someone that's constantly in and out of marriages? Because for whatever reason, this card is communicating that she wants to really think this through and be very smart and clever about making this decision, if it's true that she might enter into a long-term commitment with this man via engagement or marriage. Engagement leading up to a marriage. So let's see what the following cards say. 2 of Pentacles. Once again, juggling 2 or more things of value in someone's life. Work, career, family, things that are grounding, since this is a suit of Pentacles, and things that are valuable, have material value. So this could indicate that one or both of them are very busy. I would assume that it's AE, Alexander Edwards, still trying to get his money up, still trying to grind, since Cher is at the age of retirement and leisure. Maybe he is still trying to make a name for himself as a producer, or maybe he has a name for himself already and he just wants to seize the opportunities. But it seems like they're looking to prioritize and be very organized and diligent about keeping all of their ducks in a row, not just allowing this relationship to consume them, but to also keep all of the other important things in their life afloat and to be responsible, which is good considering that we saw that having boundaries is a part of this relationship according to these cards. So it seems like there's balance, right? Because we saw passion here, but also let's not let our business ambitions and our finances fall to the wayside, and let's not lose our heads. Let's be very clear in our thoughts, in our minds, in our decisions. This is perhaps the best card of the reading, having overcome any vices or self-destructive habits. But then we end with this Eight of Swords, which is not really a great card. So it feels like someone in this relationship must feel stuck. Someone maybe has a victim mentality. Someone is keeping themselves in like a self-inflicted harmful environment. Yikes. I wonder who that could be. Definitely have to look at a few more cards after that, because that's not a great card to end on. Okay, there's manipulation. There's someone surrendering and sacrificing. There is the luxurious lifestyle that someone wants to hold on to. And there is disharmony amongst a family and someone's emotional upbringing and foundation. So, maybe Cher doesn't have the support of her family. Maybe the guy doesn't want to let go of this lifestyle. We've seen this card a couple times, and I will just point out again that we see some plaques back here, which I tend to take it to indicate that someone has ambitions for this kind of recognition and fame within their industry. And since they're both in entertainment or specifically music, seems like someone would like to keep this version of themselves going, keep their independence, keep their self-sufficiency. I would think that it's Cher, but this could also be the guy, AE, since he is still at the age that he probably still wants to continue to see where his career takes him. But this Ten of Cups indicates that there is something off emotionally, either between them in terms of the long-term emotional state of their union. It could lack reciprocity, or it could lack harmony. This is emotional disharmony amongst family, or in this case, maybe just between the two of them. But because I keep getting family, it felt like disapproval, like maybe one or both sides, their families may not approve of their union or their partnership. And again, I am curious. I do want to see what else I get. Oh, she can't have kids, but Five of Swords. So this indicates someone willing to win at all costs and maybe likely play dirty, leaving someone feeling defeated while this person feels that they may have gone too far, maybe regretting their role in a conflict, maybe questioning if they could have done it better, or just not being level-headed in their approach. This is a conflictive card, and this is the Empress, which is usually the feminine, divine feminine energy that is about abundance and creativity, and someone who's very nurturing. So this card is often associated with pregnancy, and that's why as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, maybe there is argument or concerns from the family that, but she can't have kids. Why are you going to marry her? And that may be some of the opinions of the external forces that are contributing to these delays, or some temporary doubts and regrets, anxieties that they may have had to work through in their relationship, something that they overcame and got on the other side of. Like, okay, I accept that if I move forward with this relationship, I may not be able to create the family that most people would expect to see in a long-term commitment or relationship, but I've made peace with that, and I still want to move forward in this relationship. Perhaps, I mean, it could also be that that is the reason that they do not make it long term. But if we think about the cards that we saw in the previous part of this reading, maybe it would still be a marriage that moves forward if indeed Cher has any concerns about her health and passing it on, passing her estate on to whoever she thinks needs to manage it, including this guy, maybe, perhaps. This is just for entertainment, folks. No facts, no truth, just tarot. So I did the best I could to interpret these cards. The reading was a little affected because, as I said, the cards weren't shuffling as they normally do. So you guys in the chat, let me know if you're surprised to see these cards, if you think it makes sense. What were you assuming their dynamic was or is or would be? What do you think is coming for them in the future? It's always interesting to still do these readings and see how the future unfolds for them, so we can circle back and see if there was any truth to them. So either way, best wishes to them. I hope they at least continue to enjoy love and companionship, whether it's a marriage or not. And may Cher be in good health, because that's also really important. So I think I will leave it here. I did want to slip in one or two more readings tonight, but unfortunately, since my cards got wet unexpectedly. I mean, you know what? Let me just... This Kylie Jenner, Timothée, Chalamet reading. You guys have been asking me for it for a while, so let me just throw out a few cards. Spirit. Whoa. Spirit. What can you tell me about Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet? Kylie is a Leo. She's 28. Timothée is 29. He's a Capricorn, so they're very age appropriate. And I don't know about the compatibility between a Leo and Capricorn, but let's see what the cards can tell us. We're just doing a quick energy check on their relationship because they're having... Just get some water here. We're just doing a quick energy check on their relationship because there have been many breakup rumors swirling, but they were seen in matching orange ensembles last week at a movie premiere for Timothy's new movie. So let's see if the cards can let us know the truth behind their relationship. Spirit, what is the energy of Timothée and Kylie's relationship? Okay, so we have the Eight of Swords reversed. So this is someone breaking free from what used to be a situation that they felt stuck in. Someone that is now or no longer keeping themselves in self-inflicted harm. This could be good or bad because it could also indicate that someone might be breaking free or getting out of a relationship that doesn't really serve them. But it's always good to have freedom and remove yourself from something that you think is unhealthy or destructive. Then we have the Devil card, which is never good news. This is attachments and vices. This is... Oh, I'm going blank here. This is codependency. This could be substances. This could be irresponsible spending. This could be people who are bad influences or people themselves that have bad habits. So the Devil card after this Eight of Swords, it could indicate that someone wants to break away from the person that has these behaviors or characteristics, these bad habits here, is the reason that someone wants to, needs to, or will step out of that relationship, perhaps. Yeah, there's worry, there's anxiety. Immediately, this said Kylie. Worry, anxiety. So maybe she has a fear that she knows this relationship will come to an end, or that they're both in it for different reasons. Let's see if we can get some more clarification because I'm still not getting much from this. The World reversed. So this indicates that there is a lack of completion. Some life cycle has not been completed. It has not been some achievement has not been achieved, and this can also visually represent the negative impact of the internet or of one's network. When we look at the world, it could indicate the involvement of a lot of external forces that may be contributing to this thought state of, I guess because it's late, my articulation is once again slipping through the cracks. So I apologize for those that are seeing this reading before I'm able to edit it. But it could indicate that some of the concerns and worries that this immediately felt like it was Kylie, but some of the concerns and worries in this relationship may be that external forces will be contributing to this breakup, as well as some bad habits and dependency issues will be contributing to these feelings, this anxiety, worries, this insomnia and sleeplessness. Let's get some more information. Yeah, he doesn't feel like she's on his level, but yet when we see this card upright, as we've seen several times tonight, this indicates someone that's enjoying their luxuries and self-sufficient, but this indicates someone that maybe didn't do all that they were supposed to do to have all of that they're supposed to have. This indicates someone that might be hustling. So there might be some sort of deception or someone trying to cut corners, maybe trying to use one's image. One of them is trying to use the other person's image to gain access, to gain more opportunities, to create an image. But either way, there is some element of potential failure. This is usually financial failure since it's pentacles, but I'm going by the visuals since we see that this is a very fancy lady, and I'm relating it to fame and the entertainment business, which Timothée is a part of since he's an actor, and Kylie Jenner is a Kardashian, and that family keeps themselves in the public light. So image is very important, and it seems like either one of them feels like the other person is not on their same level, meaning not really, you're not adding to my image, you're not elevating me, or one person is using the other person to elevate the other person's image or lucrative opportunities. So it's like one of them might get swindled, one of them might get taken. Let's see if we get more clarity. I don't know why this reading feels like it's all over the place, but let's see. Wow, interesting. So now we have the Five of Swords in reverse, meaning someone doesn't want to fight. Someone just wants to have peace and let bygones be bygones. So maybe at some point there was conflict, but now they're either walking away or stepping into a chapter where there's more of an understanding, where if it was an agreement to say, okay, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Maybe this relationship is not for love, but at least we both benefit from it in terms of the publicity, in terms of like you get to step into Hollywood because I invite you to like the Grammys and the red carpet stuff. And then I get to get more publicity from you because you are always attracting cameras. That's what I'm saying about Timothée to Kylie versus Kylie to Timothée gets to say, well, look at me. I'm in the Oscars and I'm not even an actress. So these are the perks of the relationship. So seems like they might have an agreement of how this relationship benefits both of them, but that's not sustainable. And one of them in the end might feel like they've gotten hustled or like they've, one of them benefited more than the other, but there's an element of not wanting to fight about it. So it's like putting this anxiety, this concern, this worry in the past by saying, well, let's agree to disagree, or let's just make it work for now. I haven't seen anything to do with love in these cards, which I'm surprised about. So let's see what comes out. Yeah, it's all about the money. So someone's money is funny and it's not going the way they thought, the way they wanted. So there's something about this relationship where one of them is trying to benefit financially through the attention and publicity that this relationship gains or gets. Oh, yeah. Someone's going to end up very emotionally disappointed since we have this Five of Cups, which indicates grief, loss, sorrows, disappointments, regrets. This may be a breakup again, since that is one of the rumors that we were originally asking about. But it brings me back to this card where I had a feeling that it was someone that was going to walk away feeling like one of them benefited more than the other. And then there's disappointment and regret around that. So I am not confident based off of these cards that they are together for a long time, but maybe they are just together for a good time and definitely a short term and temporary time, because we have two cards here with a lady holding her head and, you know, very worried, very disappointed. We have this Queen of Wands again, this fiery energy of someone being very bold, very confident, very courageous, very attractive. And then we have the Hanged Man in reverse of someone that does not want to let go of control, that has a fear of change, someone that does not want to surrender and sacrifice. So between these two cards and, okay, someone got what they wanted, but they want to walk away. It's not emotionally fulfilling. Yeah, it's feeling like a breakup is, if they haven't broken up already, it seems like eventually they will, because while one of them may feel like they got what they wanted, another one of them is not emotionally fulfilled. And based off what we saw on the bottom here, one of them is passionate about the potential of the relationship in the future. Maybe even this could be the energy of someone that's being bold and defiant, like trying to prove that they can go against the odds, or someone's just very bossy and fired up. This could also be a feminine energy that is advising or supporting one of them, that's telling them keep on powering forward. You know, this could easily be, what's her name, Kris Jenner, the mom, telling her, well, try to make the relationship work because, you know, at least you can benefit from XYZ. But the reality is that someone doesn't want to relinquish control. And that could be the mom, Kris Jenner, or it could be, it seems like Timothee is more in control of that relationship. We always see, what's her name, Kylie, going to meet him wherever he is in the world, shooting his, I guess he does films. And it just energetically doesn't really seem like they are a long-term match, like they're a couple that's gonna make it far and go the distance. So I'll just leave it there. They will not go far. They will not expand. The Seven of Swords indicating that maybe someone's cheating, maybe someone's lying or betraying, and it's already known amongst them, but they may be letting it rock because they are at least enjoying the benefits while it lasts, you know, enjoy it while it lasts. Ultimately, it seems like they will separate at some point and not be together. I guess it's a matter of someone finding someone else they want to move on to. I didn't see any love in any of these cards, so hopefully it's wrong. Hopefully Kylie is enjoying love because she's young enough to where that should be a priority, since the money has already been accomplished with her family's businesses and the reality show and the Kylie cosmetics. So I would assume a woman that has her kids already, has her money already, would just want to check some love off the list. But who knows? Hollyweird is often playing by a different set of rules. So we will leave it there, and we will leave the rest for a future reading. I appreciate you all for joining me, and I look forward to catching up with you all either right before the holidays or right after. If I do not see you again, I wish you all a happy holidays, happy new year, and a reminder that it is so helpful if you could please like, subscribe if you enjoy this content so you can be notified of when I go live again. I'm going to be completing my monthly horoscopes either tomorrow or sometime this week, and also have a long list of CelebriTEA readings that I will be getting to pretty soon. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your hearts. Thank you for your love, your energy. It is so helpful. It means so much as a new channel. As I always say, it means the world. I really appreciate your engagement. So with that, I wish you all abundance and illumination. May divine... Let me take it again. I'm sorry. It's just because I really need to just go drink some water and go chill. I wish you all abundance and illumination. May divine light radiate through your life. Keep shining. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Take care. Thanks.